Hi, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Dean, and here we are yet again. Another day. Tuesday. It's like the most depressing day of the week, apparently, according to most psychologists and people who are normally depressed. Tuesday. It's like that day. It's like right after Monday. Monday was like stressful for people, I guess so. Wednesday's like midweek, so it's like, ooh, halfway there. Thursday is like mini Friday, and then Friday, everybody just gets fucking blackout wasted and says, I don't have to do anything for 2 days. Anyway, so worst day of the week, but we're here. I don't find it a bad day of the week either because we got a lot of shit going on, including and not limited to blood flower moons. We're going to talk about those today because that's been interesting for the past 2 nights. Don't know if you guys have seen the eclipse. It's been fucking super cool. We got Karen's through the drive-through. We've got Alex from Ukraine coming in today. We're going to talk a little Jordan Peterson. J. Pete, because he lost his fucking mind last night on Twitter. Quit Twitter, then didn't quit Twitter, then didn't quit Twitter, and now today's back on Twitter. So we've got that. That's going to be a lot of fun. We got some hockey to talk about. We've got Mitch Marner to talk about a little later on today as well. Not sure if you've seen the video of Mitch Marner. Mitch, or not a video.
Hold on, is there a video of it?
Well, no, there's no video.
Oh,
Pardon me.
shit.
That was my fault. Mitch Marner got carjacked literally 24 to 48 hours. After losing his fifth straight playoff series in a row in 7 games, he's driving around in his black Range Rover, pot. Here I am. I'm still Mitch Marner. No big deal. And he gets carjacked in Etobicoke. Like literally 2 guns, 1 knife, 3 guys. Get the fuck out of the car. And he's like, smart decision. Absolutely. Like, I don't know one person in that situation who's like, you know what? I'm going to fight for this vehicle. Let it go, man.
I would
let it go. Not if you get 2 guys with a gun and 1 guy with a knife. What's that?
Linz has a theory on it too.
What's that?
I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the text, you had a theory that I thought was
relevant. Yeah. No, I said it was probably Leafs management just doing a salary clawback. They
back for the playoffs.
They're coming to get their money back for poor performance this year. They said 125 grand's worth of
Game 7. Another
Land
loss.
Rovers.
Unacceptable. Yeah. You're making too much money, Mitch. We're going to have to take your $125,000 car.
We have to take drastic measures. It was in the fine print of his contract. You just didn't see that part, I guess.
Oh, and we're going to make it painful because you're making life painful for us. Yeah. So we're going to hijack you.
We're only making the jokes because he's okay. It happened at a movie theater, apparently. He was coming in. I don't know if he was going in or coming out. But
what was he going to see? Titanic? Is that back in theaters?
Oh, here we go. That's nice.
Someone's got a case of the Mondays.
Yeah.
Speaking of depressing days, I don't think he thinks Tuesday's the bad day. I think Mitch thinks Monday is the bad day.
Monday sucked for Mitchie. Anyway, we're going to talk about that and get to the details of it. But I want to start with ivermectin. Big news, everybody. Big news. So a couple weeks ago, everybody knows during the pandemic, which is effectively over, right? I think we can all pretty much say it's not like it's not over. It's still going on. But we've compartmentalized it to the point, majority of us, where we're like, yeah, we're vaccinated. We wear masks when we need to and have to. We try to be mindful of other people's needs and wants, and we just go through life knowing that this is an endemic now, not a pandemic. So nobody's fucking
It's still killing people.
Minds. Oh, yeah, lots of people. I think 22 people in Ontario the other day, right, Linz? Something
North
like that.
fucking Korea is in trouble. Like, they're getting just hammered like it's the first wave.
Yeah, we've lost more people in the Omicron variant than we had in the first 2 months of the original, like the onset in 2020. Apparently, there was a stat yesterday, and it's sad. We just stopped caring about it. We just got bored with it. So,
how many people in the United States died overall? 1 million?
Just over a million.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, that's pretty insane.
2 years,
1 million people,
500,000 people a year, dude. That's like that's the same size as what is Hamilton? 500,000 people. Hamilton general, just kind of in and around the area. It's the city, we're 2 cities of Hamilton just gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah. Fucking weird.
I still maintain that this is Mother Nature's attempt to trying to call the human race. Think about it, right? Not only was it offing people, not only was it like changing gears to be more effective when the vaccine started to take hold and actually have an impact on the numbers.
Do that, though. Yeah.
Viruses do that. I'm not suggesting that this is a new strategy for Mother Nature, but it's also
the old playbook.
But it's, there's no bad ideas when you're brainstorming, Linz.
That's right.
But there's also a case to be made that it goes after your dick. So. Yeah. And then it's like, all right, we can't kill some of them, so we're just going to fucking make that not work anymore, so they can't populate the earth anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you right now, I said it at the beginning of the pandemic. I said, this is just Mother Nature going,
fuck you for a minute.
You guys are a fucking virus, and I'm going to give you a virus to kill you.
You might be onto something, and what Dean's going to talk about is going to take care of the other side of it, so they can't procreate either.
If they're too dumb to actually believe that it's happening, then we're going to let them eat ivermectin.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And listen, new study came out. You remember a couple weeks ago we had breaking ivermectin news, and we never got to it. The breaking ivermectin news was that ivermectin was about as useless as a dick on an ice cream cone when it came to treating COVID. Double-blind placebo study. 4,000 people between the United States, Mexico, and Brazil took part in a major study. Study said, oh, by the way, ivermectin is an anti-parasitic, which we've been telling you for 2 years. Treats worms. If you got worms, this is for you. If you have a respiratory infection, it is not. So that was the definitive news. Then today, this news came out, and I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, yeah.
It gets
ivermectin's this, and I cannot believe Fox News put this out because these guys were basically selling it by the fucking tube with their editorial shit. Ivermectin's hidden cost. New studies show that 68% of those who used ivermectin to treat or prevent COVID are suffering long-term bowel and urinary incontinence. When I looked into what that meant, it
also
is Crohn's,
fitting.
it is colitis, it is IBS. Serious IBS has gone up like 5 billion% in the Americas. Like 4 billion people got IBS last year. They're like, what happened? We're like, I don't know. Fuck, it was the ivermectin, and every single one of them is unvaccinated. And not only that, rectal bleeding was another one. Huge issue with rectal bleeding.
I am okay
urinary tract infections, gallstones, piss stones, all these different, because people were eating so much of the shit, right? Because they were so scared to get COVID. They just were like, and they're all rednecks, they're all dumb, they're all idiots, all that stuff. And I don't feel sorry for any of them. Like I was reading a story how one guy's had rectal bleeding for a year because he's been eating ivermectin, and he finally went to the doctor and like, we have to remove a lot of your colon.
I'm okay with all of it. You're going to be shitting in a bag, possibly for the rest of your life.
Do you guys remember what they were doing before the ivermectin craze? And it was hydroxychloroquine, which was an ingredient in fish tank cleaner.
Yeah.
And people were literally lining up at the pet store to down fucking fish tank cleaner
an
and die.
anti-malarial fish, and because they didn't really have it in like human form for mass consumption, right? Because it's such a fucking weird hydrochloroquine. It's part of the methylquine, like it's like an army thing.
Yep.
And they had it, and it's like really specific, and it's like you got to study someone's physiology to give it to them, but it's anti-malarial. So if you got bit by a mosquito in the Congo,
bloodborne viruses,
sure, but if you have COVID. No, it doesn't work. It never works. But it was like, you know, these things, and we kind of said it for years, right? Like we said it for 2 years. It's like, you're going to have some natural consequences from this. If you continue to take something that doctors are saying, the people who made it, Merck, are like, whatever you do, don't take it because you'll suffer some severe urinary problems and your asshole will explode. Do you know what they're calling this crazy? And I'm not kidding you. They're calling it long haul asshole syndrome. You know how everybody's got long haul COVID? These guys, to own the libs, ate tubes of the shit, and now all of them have IBS, Crohn's, colitis, have to get surgical procedures to remove portions of their colon. Like, it is fucking on, and they don't care. They're all standing around going, yeah, well, you know, we did what was right in the moment. I guess we just got to shit in a bucket for the rest of the moment.
You know what? It took me a long time to figure out the connection between ivermectin and the conspiracy, like why it was such a popular trend with the group that just, if somebody with any amount of authority or anybody tells me to do, what do you call it? Oppositional disorder or something like that?
Yeah, oppositional defiance disorder.
Oppositional defiance disorder. I mean, we all know that person. They're probably a member of your family or somebody you work with, right? And I was wondering, though, about the conversation about ivermectin that I was having with people was, you need to look into it. You need to do your research, right? And then I pushed a guy that was bugging me about it, and I got him on the phone, and it all started to come together because I was wondering where it was leading. And his thing, the path that he took was that the vaccines were costing and making the pharmaceutical companies millions and millions of dollars. Like one dose of vaccine, they make $200 or some fucking thing. One dose of ivermectin is only $3. Do the math. Follow the money. And then you go, okay, what do you mean? And then he leads me down the path and he goes, and who owns the pharmaceutical companies? The Jews, right? And then it just kept going and going and going. And I'm like, oh my God, that's where that comes from. It's not that ivermectin works. It's your mistrust of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then
it always leads back to the Jews.
Yeah. It always leads back to the Jews. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Here's the other thing that I kept saying to these guys was every time somebody was pumping ivermectin at me or like, have you done your research? I'm like, are you fucking taking it? And no one was taking it. They were just...
it's like running interference. Yeah, for sure. And dude, and that's the other thing. It's code when they talk about their buddies, and Lynch, you know this, their buddies are them. They are their buddies. Oh, I got a friend. Have you done your research? And dude, like we did the research. We tried to do the research. Like all of us sat down and read our dicks off trying to figure out what this was. And we talked to real doctors, and those real doctors gave us information like, this is a terrible idea. You're going to get the shits for the rest of your life if you keep eating this stuff. And now what are people doing? They're getting the shits for the rest of their lives. And we listen to them. And so we don't have the perpetual shits and our wieners aren't exploding and our reproductive organs aren't turning into pudding. Like that's what these people are going through. And they're going through it now because they knew better than the guys, right? They knew better than the doctors. And I kept wondering, like, this entire time, like, it's got to have long haul effects on some of these people. Like, I have relatives that chewed this shit for a while that are now having bowel problems. That's why I think this is funny, because we were like, hey, listen, we said probably not a good idea to take an anti-parasitic drug that was made for horses, put it on a cracker and chew it like it's a fucking hors d'oeuvre. And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay, what else? Well, I'm eating this because Bill Gates is trying to kill us all. And you're like, hey, have fun. Let me know if you're in a diaper. Sure enough, 68% of people that used ivermectin to treat COVID, like the idiots they are, now have very serious asshole issues. Long haul asshole syndrome.
So the guy that we called a guy in Edmonton at a vet, like a farm vet store. I forget UFA or something. And we got him on the phone and we said to him, hey, listen, if I was to come down, would you sell me a tube of the ivermectin? And he was annoyed right out of the gate. He's just like, no, that is a veterinarian drug. And then like a week later on their webpage, there was an announcement that said, somebody sent it to me because they noticed it. If you were buying ivermectin from the store, you had to show a picture of you with your horse.
Are you serious? You had to bring like a receipt. You had to bring like ID, a receipt of you with your horse.
The shelves, Dean. Because these fucking idiots were going down and buying it. And they were like,
I think someone sent me a picture of that. It's like it's ivermectin, and it's like there's nothing on the shelf, and there's a little sign that says, "Due to idiots taking this for human use, the ivermectin's in the back. Please show proof of horse."
You
have to ride the horse into the store. We have to stick it in the horse's mouth.
I wonder how many people went to their friend's house and like took a picture with their horse in the back pasture, going, "Hey, can I just take a picture of you and your horse so I can go get some?"
I would have ordered cases of it if I was that store. If I was that manager, I would have ordered a truckload of it, and I would have had a booth out front. Ivermectin, come
like
get
street meat. You know, we weren't even thinking during the like we were busy trying to prevent people from doing this. If we were really smart, we would have harnessed the opportunity, like a street meat hot dog guy in downtown Toronto. We would have gone around pushing a cart with a little ivermectin, like umbrella on the top of it, wearing the ivermectin shirts with like apples on it because they have apple flavor. Because horses like apples, they got like orange flavor because horses, I guess, like oranges, and just like screaming, "Come get your ivermectin!" expect at like a Chris Sky rally and all these different rallies, we would have made fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if we just said, hey, listen, this is great on a Triscuit. You could put it on a Ritz, maybe a Cheez-It.
We could have put it on, put a horse-drawn cart. We could have had cloppity, 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 clop. You know,
we missed an opportunity. I don't know.
I always said
we weren't juggling the balls like at Locke. I've been thinking about ball juggling recently, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way for us to fight this stuff and take advantage of it. Like we should have. We really need to be thinking entrepreneurially rather than preventatively. I really do believe that. Totally believe that now.
I said
because
that
these
right
people are
going
to fucking eat the stuff anyway. Now, like 70% of Americans are shitting in a bag because of it, and I guarantee you that number's on par here in Canada. It's got to be. I mean, we have the same losers here, just smaller in numbers. So I would say probably the same amount of people that took that stuff here are also very sick. Yeah, exactly. Which is exciting, right? I do too. It's like,
where did it come from? Where did the initial sort of, how did this actually grow? The seedling of, hey, you know what? Ivermectin is good for COVID, and fuck, you know what this is? We got to check in with Rogan.
I believe that's what it was. I think it was
Rogan diapers.
I think it was when Robert Malone was on Rogan's show initially. I think he proposed the idea of it because he's a fucking idiot, and Rogan ran with it, and that's where it gained steam. I'm sure it probably has been trialed in other things where they said, yeah, it didn't work there either, and they probably tried it on a coronavirus in the past. And they said, nah, you know what? It's not showing. It's not a definitive study. They kept testing it
because it wouldn't go away. So they kept doing studies on it. They did a UK study. They did a
Brazil, like the study that Dean was referring to today came from like 5 or 6 different countries collaboratively, and they're all saying,
like, hey, by the way, like ivermectin's about as useless as putting your asshole on an ice cream cone. So don't use it. Yeah. Do whatever you do.
And in
true, rather have a dick on an ice cream cone, just from your
dick on an ice
analogy,
cream cone.
But an asshole.
In true life loser, like fucking perpetual loser fashion, what did they do? They bought all the toilet paper first, then fucked their asshole up. So like they couldn't even get that fucking right, you know, like. We're not dealing with
it's the best. It's the best. Anyway, just a nice little thing to start the podcast before we get to the main frame. Please welcome to the show, Alex Dayrabekov, live in Cherkasy, Ukraine.
Shit! I'm gonna go get my shirt.
Yeah, we're just Alex. We were just talking about COVID. By the way, I haven't seen you wearing your mask in war-torn Ukraine. Shouldn't you be?
Yeah.
You got other things to worry about. How many people have like said, "Hey, man, are you vaccinated?"
We forgot about COVID here. What?
Yeah, you know that's one of the great things about this Slava Ukraine. There we go. Alex Dayrabekov joins us from Cherkasy, Ukraine. We got the fuck Poodler shirts. We're rocking the Slava Ukraine gear. Mine's on its way.
This is yours, actually.
I just asked Alex why he hasn't been wearing his mask during the war because he could catch COVID.
Oh no! So good to see you guys.
Great to see you too. Sorry, I didn't mean to start with an admonishment over the COVID, but like I get you might be the only country in the world where everybody's like, "Will you shut the fuck up with the COVID?" And I mean like everybody.
Oh yeah,
like even the people that believe in what's going on.
Yeah,
they're probably like, we're busy right now.
Yeah, have you had anybody come up to you in like a bomb shelter going, "Hey man, mask."
6 feet.
Yeah.
6 feet.
Yeah.
I can't remember masks from the day one. Day one of the war.
That was day one. That's when you stopped caring. I mean, like you had to stop caring about it at that point, right?
Well, actually, I did carry, but for the past 2 months, we don't even think about it. But I just thought about those people who stayed in really tight bomb shelters that, like in Mariupol again. It's like, well, what COVID? They were like really close to each other, and I talked to people who were in caption, like detained. And there was a tiny place, like 4 meters by 2 meters, and 22 people packed there, you could barely even sit, not even lie. You could just, stand like packed to each other. What kind of mask are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be a pretty good mask.
Yeah.
I would
canoes at
reach out.
Mariupol, right?
I would reach out and stroke anybody in that group who's like, hey.
I need my personal
feet.
space. Yeah.
Social distance.
Yeah.
Whoa. 6 feet in the foxhole, everybody. Relax.
That's right.
There's
Wash your
good
hands.
news out
Did
of
you wash your
Mariupol,
hands?
right?
What's that? Locke, go ahead.
Sorry.
There's good news out of Mariupol.
It is.
Did you guys catch it, Alex? So
It's
the Ukraine troops made their way to Mariupol, and they're getting the people out of that steel mill.
Yeah, and that's a great place to start, Locke. I
That
appreciate
just came
that.
through.
Yeah, Alex, of course, in case anybody doesn't know, please follow him, Alex Dayrabekov. He is in Cherkasy, Ukraine. He is part of the war effort. He's been helping do a whole bunch of stuff, from bomb shelters and feeding people to running supply lines. We always have an update at the start of the week. Today is Tuesday, and Alex has agreed to join us again, which is our pleasure, and thanks for coming, Alex. But why don't we start there? I mean, we've had a little bit of fun. But let's get to the news, because there's been a bunch of developments, and I want to get to them in order. We can start in Mariupol. Why don't you give us that news about the steel plant, Azovstal steel plant? If I'm saying that correctly, you can. But I mean, this is the centerpiece. What's the situation like there, and give us the news about the warriors that were fighting for freedom in Ukraine.
Well, that was the hottest place in the entire war. And Mariupol, which is south of Ukraine, close to Azov Sea, and Azovstal was the biggest plant there, and that was the latest place that was kept by Ukrainian soldiers. Originally, there were a couple, 2, maybe 3,000 soldiers totally, and they kept this defense against attack of up to 20,000. So like 10 times more Russian soldiers attacked them, and they were able to stay there for 2.5 months, and that was the most difficult task for the Ukrainian government, to do something to get them out, and that was really a very challenging and not easy decision to make. But they are now evacuated from this plant. They're kind of surrendering in a way, but nobody uses this term. But this is so they are like taken out by Russian soldiers, taken to the DNR, which had been occupied since 2014, and hopefully they will later be exchanged for the Russian. Russian captives from Ukrainian part. We hope for that. So the whole operation was kept in secret on both sides, and that's still in secret. It's very I cannot. It's very fragile. The whole thing is very fragile. At any moment, it can break apart. There's many risks in this, but this is probably better than. Because out of the about 1,000 people, 1,000 soldiers that were still there, about 500 or 600 are wounded. Some of them severely wounded. So it was a really hard decision. But as a citizen, I'm happy it is done finally. We all hoped for that. We all asked for that. We asked for the entire the whole world for to help. We asked the Pope for that. We asked the UN General Secretary for that. So hopefully something will end up soon.
Yeah, because the last time we had heard the Azovstal steel plant in Mariupol was this stronghold for a whole bunch of Ukrainian citizens that had taken refuge there because Russia was just literally wave after wave carpet bombing, killing as many people as they could, and they took refuge in the steel plant. And we've all watched for the last 82 days while Russia's continually bombarded that steel plant, they've had these people in this underground city, which is an underground city underneath the steel plant that's 100 years old. It's truly an incredible story, and they were down there for literally 82 days. Women, children, fighters, and they had like literally a lot of civilians, and they had like they had no food, no water. They were eating pigeons. They were a lot of them were injured, and to your point, Alex, like. We saw the civilians leave the other day. This is some video that you sent. Let's just play this, and we'll play it quietly. This is the latest video of soldiers emerging. Is that correct? Emerging from the steel plant. Is that what we're about to see?
Yeah. This is as I just saw it on the Telegram channels within the past hour. So it was as of today. So these are Ukrainians, and they are being checked by the Russians, and we can see it's quite peaceful. Well, hopefully it will stay like this.
Yeah.
But we can understand.
I thought some got out, Alex. Like not from Russians, but some got out from Ukrainian.
Well, that was the first time they tried to evacuate them. They ambushed them. They sent 2 buses out and then started bombing them again.
Yeah.
I thought some.
So go ahead, Alex. So these are all soldiers. These are all Ukrainian soldiers. Look at the look on these guys' faces. Look at how white these guys are.
Yeah.
My God, what was that? What precipitated this? The release of these soldiers, and I know that there's a soldier swap that Zelensky was talking about. Hey, we'd like to swap our Azov soldiers for your Russian soldiers because apparently you guys have tens of thousands of them. And Putin was like, no, not interested. That's what I read today. But have you heard anything about where these soldiers are going? Because the last I had heard, it was a video that one of them, I think it was the battalion leader, he was like, man, we're here to die. That's what we're here for. And that was my understanding, is that they were staying until it was over.
They are taken now to DNR, the Donetsk, the so-called Donetsk People's Republic, this fake state that had been occupied since 2014. Which is a really terroristic state. It has no laws in there. So they're taken there now. Everything else is kept in secret. So, the latest news I heard that they are actually taken out of that DNR to Rostov, which is really Russian Federation. And then hopefully the swap will happen. But again, it's...
Yeah. There's so much going on here. It's this is one of those things that I didn't think we'd see, right? And I don't even know what the situation is in Mariupol. But does that mean that Mariupol is now firmly in Russia's hands? Because I believe I saw a note that said, "Hey, listen, we're no longer fighting in Mariupol." Is that correct?
We might have lost Alex.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, I think he got bumped. Hopefully, he'll come back.
Yeah, dude, look at these guys.
No kidding.
Getting medical attention. They were underground for 3 months.
Yeah.
Underground for 3 months. Getting bombarded daily by hundreds. This is one of the
many situations where I was just like, okay, enough's enough. NATO. Yeah. I understand. Like, I get it. He's got his hand on the button and everyone's freaking out about that. But this is too much. This is too much. How can you sit back and watch this? As citizens of this planet, how can you sit and watch this bullshit take place? Get in there and
get it done.
Get it done. Can. And then the constant back and forth on the we're going to let the citizens out. All right, they're in buses. All right, let's bomb them. To me, that is, they keep talking about this line that they're going to, it's chemical weapons. It's this, it's it. That, to me, is a line. They should have established it at the beginning of this conflict. They should have I would have been in there. If it was me, I would have been in there with planes. Mm-hmm. I would have been in there and I would have been bombing the shit out of them. Every NATO company, all right, send your troops in. That's it. They did it. They backed out on an agreement to get citizens out. We're going in. End of story, right? We had an argument, Jimmy and I, on the show yesterday about Russia. McDonald's is backing out, but they're paying everybody. And I'm like, they shouldn't. They shouldn't be paying the Russians anything.
Yeah.
They're not working. They shouldn't be paying them. And he's like, oh, but they can't do anything. I'm like, you got to get to a point with that population. It's 100 million. Whether they're brainwashed or not, whether they have access to proper information, you have to make it hurt.
Yeah, you got to shake
The
them.
whole, and listen, I know it's one guy and his tiny little dick, but the longer this, the more painful it is, the longer this goes, the more we can bury that country as a whole, the better chance that somebody is going to have the nuts to grab a grenade and stick it up that man's ass and kill him and start from scratch. The sooner, the better. And unfortunately, I mean, listen, I realize that we're talking thousands and thousands of employees at McDonald's in Russia.
Yep.
They should not have been paid.
62,000.
None of them.
Yeah.
62,000. Every single one of them should have lost their salaries. Every North American company, every Western company that is pulling out of Russia should be doing exactly the same thing.
Especially after looking at those videos, right? Like, especially after seeing what they've done to these human beings. And you know, there is good news here because, you know, we're watching some pretty disturbing stuff that Alex sent us, and I appreciate you sending that, Alex. Follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Dayrabekov. His last
I just
name.
retweeted it again with his Twitter handle on there. So if you go to mine, which is on the screen, you can give him a quick little follow. Get on
please
it.
Do. Please do. But I mean, you know, when you look at that and you look at the strategic effort that they made and listen, let's just end what's going on in Mariupol. Let's concentrate our efforts elsewhere. Huge news out of Kharkiv and different areas of Ukraine. And I want to talk about that because I was stoked over the past couple of days. You can have a look at this Ukrainian controlled territory. This is from, I believe it's called Ukraine Weapons Map. And this is a Twitter handle. You can go and have a look at it. This is a very different map, Alex, and I can see your smiling face out of the corner of my eye here. What I thought was not a possibility isn't just a possibility. It's definitely happening. Russians are retreating in record numbers. They cannot make, not only cannot make any movement into contested territory or unoccupied territory, they're turning around and running back into Russia in certain cases, like Kharkiv. What do you know about what's happening in the effort to push these guys out? And the good news about Ukrainian-controlled territory back being in Ukrainian hands?
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right, Dean. I'm actually very positively impressed with the depth of knowledge you have about what is going on. So big applause to you.
I like to read, Alex, and I not only like to read. The story is incredible to me, so I'm happy that I at least know where Kharkiv is and Sumy Oblast. I know about all those places too and what's been going on there. But hear it from you because you have all the information, right?
Good. Yeah. Well, yeah, they are retreating, and this has been happening for the past couple of weeks, actually, since we talked last time. It was May 9th, if you remember. It was the Victory Day, and it was the end of the day. And I was already kind of happy that Putin didn't announce mobilization and the war, but there was still some time until the end of that day. Now, a week passed. In this week, we had so many good news. One of them is Kharkiv Oblast is almost completely liberated. Just a little red, tiny part in the north. That's it. It will be done in a week. Next time we talk, it will be as liberated as Irpin and Bucha, where I'm from now. So they are just done.
Is Kharkiv a city or a region, Alex? Is it a region or is it a city? Kharkiv.
Kharkiv itself is a city. It's the second largest after Kyiv. And by the way, Kharkiv has a very strategic importance because at some point it was the capital of Ukraine. So yeah, plus it is basically like 30 miles away from the border with Russia. And the fact that such a large city, ex-capital of Ukraine, is now like completely liberated, Kharkiv and the oblast around him, the region around him, is like such a such a huge news, and that's a big
Yeah.
big success for us, and a huge fuck up for that side.
100%.
Yeah. You guys have done well on the south as well. Ukraine has managed to hang on to that coastal region on the south, Odessa, and that's got to be that also has to be inspiring. That's because there was a push from Russia to get to connect the dots there. Was there not, Alex?
Exactly. That's what well, the expectation, not the expectation for May 9th, was that they might start a war in Moldova, occupy Moldova really quickly, and then from there attack Odessa and get the entire coast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Another thing is that there was a big fight over the Snake Island that we mentioned many times, the one that where the war actually started on the day one. And as we know, they failed many times. Several boats sunk there, and lots of more than 40 soldiers killed, helicopters, air defense, all destroyed by Ukrainian army on the Snake Island.
Oh, and not just once, dude. Like over and over and over again.
Yeah. They kept
Which is
blowing the
very
shit out
terrible
of
to
it.
watch.
Yeah.
Explain a couple of things, because I want to get to a video from Kharkiv and the border, which is just an incredible video. I think you were the one that sent it, but I want to ask you about these pictures too, because some of the damage that the Ukrainian forces have been able to inflict have been on such an enormous scale recently that they're taking out entire brigades. Now, this is very interesting. This was a river crossing. I don't know is this near Dnipro? Is that my understanding? In and around that area, and if you could kind of explain this, but the damage to the Russian infantry and this mobile unit was total, like just and it wasn't just the unit. You can see bridges that they built. You guys just basically beat the shit out of the bridges. Wow. Every tank is gone, and you get a great view here of what this is. But take us through what this is and how Ukraine has been able to exact such extreme damage and prevent Russian troops from even crossing rivers at this point.
Well, this is actually not Dnieper. This is Seversky Donetsk. It's a small river close to Severodonetsk. Just not to make it too complicated, but that's close to the Luhansk Oblast, which had been occupied since 2014. Most of it.
I was going to say occupied. that's in occupied Russian territory, right?
No.
Not yet.
Well,
okay.
It was Severodonetsk is probably the latest part of Luhansk Oblast that is yet not occupied by the Russians.
Okay.
And there's the biggest fights are going to be within the next couple of weeks. The next fights that we will hear about will be around Severodonetsk. So this is a little village called Bilogorivka. Bilogorivka, it's from like White Mount. It's a village of White Mount, Bilogorivka. So a really tiny village. And there is this river, Seversky Donetsk, where Russians tried to cross. They put a pontoon bridge over it. And Ukrainians simply just like destroyed it completely together with the equipment, together with the soldiers. And they did it multiple times, like totally up to 9. That's what I heard latest today. 9 times. So they were like going in the same place over and over. So like really completely stupid idiots, like fulfilling orders given by commanders. And again, the commanders are also stupid idiots because they were just completely sending their troops to hell every single time. More than 400, I heard even 560 soldiers killed there. At least 73 units of equipment, and you can see somebody actually counted them one by one, 73 at least. But I heard even 90 units were destroyed there. And this is now already considered the biggest defeat of the Russian army in the entire war. The biggest defeat, this one.
Good.
It's interesting because this has to have an impact on the morale, right? Like you would think that this continuing bombardment and this continuing efforts to get across this river that are being stymied by Ukraine forces, and they're like, no, get back out there. Yeah, but the last 4 times didn't work. What makes you think, don't care, go again? Like,
Put on your helmet.
Think.
Yeah.
Put your chin strap on.
Well, that's why they kept sending all those. That's why they kept sending all those generals in, was to pump them up and tell them they got to go, keep going. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, yeah, but you're dead now.
Yeah.
You know, like even the top food chain was getting killed too. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
So-
We discussed this Gerasimov a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Remember the guy who actually showed up somewhere on our territory, and then he left like really basically minutes before this place was shelled by Ukrainians. That was the command post. On May 9th, and this is the third military guy in the entire hierarchy after Putin, Shoigu, and this Gerasimov.
Yeah, he's way up
Gerasimov
there.
wasn't even on the parade. Nobody knows where the guy is.
Oh, he's
He's
dead.
lost.
he's under house
Dude,
arrest. Or,
yeah, you know what? He's in about
He's at the bottom of the
4,000
river.
pieces with the rest of his comrades. That's where he is, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you where he is, but you're going to need a shovel.
you're gonna need dogs.
Yeah.
Bring a
And a
shovel
lot of
and a
tape.
strainer.
And a lot of tape.
A good tailor.
Well, they don't have much left in Russia, right? Like all the medics are like, I'm out of needles. Says, what do you got? I got scotch tape. Boy, let's go. Let's put this guy back together. We got nobody to lose. But it's like the losses are staggering. It's like the number is something like 34,000 Russian troops are dead. You got another 20,000 that just bugged out. You got probably another 10 to 15,000. Like, is this number right, Alex? The rumor is over a third of the Russian forces, they pushed everybody into Ukraine. A third of them are either dead or gone, right? And they got nothing left. And not only that, a third of all their shit's toast too. You guys have either stolen it with John Deere tractors, or you've blown it all up, right? Are those numbers? Is that accurate? Am I kind of in the ballpark there?
Well, the Ukrainian official statistics says that, if I remember correctly, today's statistics was 27,000 killed. And then the thing that you might know, for me, it was a big surprise. Well, there is like a proportion of those killed against those wounded. So if we take the proportion one killed per 4 wounded, then we'll have what? Multiple 4, we will have 100,000 Russians wounded. And by the way, this proportion is really good, 1 to 4. I mean, this proportion is really shows that there's too many killed per wounded. The typical proportion is higher, like 1 killed per 10 wounded. So if we take 1 per 10, then that's like what, 200?
Yeah.
But again, they have a lot of they have
Like
a
the
lot
Oilers
of
penalty,
they have a lot
percentage. It's about around 25%.
Yeah. So you've legitimately taken out, like just think about that, because the number of soldiers that were getting ready to invade Ukraine at the start of this thing back in February was 165,000, if I'm not mistaken. So if you take out 24,000 or 27,000 is the updated number. Thank you, Alex. So take out 27,000, then take out another 73,000 just to make nice round numbers. That means out of the 165,000, 65,000 scared ass Russians are going, we're next. And if you don't think that seriously, what and who is left is not the best of the best at this point. Like, you've taken out all of those guys already. It is legitimately like shooting fish in a barrel at this point. For
Ukraine's going to take back the territory that Russia had already taken over in the last 8 years.
The occupied area in the east. And I was talking to my brother, Alex, you know him. He's got some people that are working there on behalf of his organization. They were just trucking 120 tons worth of potatoes across from Lviv over into the east. And he was here yesterday. We went to a baseball game, and he was like, hey, dude, I don't mean to shock you, but, we're legitimately going to win this war. Like the Ukrainian people are going to win this war. And he echoed and gave me some of those numbers because my brother's on the watch list.
Yeah, of course he is, because he's
my brother's on Putin's radar, as are we apparently. But yeah, he's on the watch list, and
we've been trying.
But no, yeah, and it was a goal of ours, right, to get on that watch list. That's why we did the fuck Putler shirts. That's right. But yeah, and at the same time, while Russia has 65 of the 165 left shitting their pants, the Ukraine army is stronger, more motivated. Oh, by the way, all the equipment's in town. They got like a couple hundred howitzers that are literally, they're just parking it outside of Kharkiv, and they just bomb the shit out of every single Russian location. So what you're seeing is legitimately the effort of the Ukrainian people and giving them an opportunity to be in this position. And now, Alex, like, is the mood in Ukraine has to be pretty buoyant, right? Like the mood from all the intel and what we're seeing, the visuals of entire brigades being taken out. They fucking don't have enough gas. They're stealing gas, and I mean, they're all turning around to the point where, and this is a video from the Kharkiv border, if I'm not mistaken, to the point where this was not just occupied, this was occupied territory like a week ago, and they're putting their border markers back up.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
That's awesome.
Where is this, Alex? Explain this to us.
Well, quick, let's get a selfie.
Absolutely. They fucking deserve it. Yeah.
They're actually shooting a video for Zelensky. They're saying, Mr. President, we are reporting that we have taken the border. And then Zelensky actually replied, and that was a really friendly, human-like. He was just standing by the armchair and saying, "Hey guys, thank you for doing this." You know, really like human to human. And this is then you're right here. Geographically, this is the border of Kharkiv. So yeah, this is one of the first moments when our guys got back to the border.
That's amazing. That's so
good. Now, what I hear from the Russian side, that they're like,
"That's
oh,
amazing.
What is
so good to watch."
What's that, Alex? What did you say? The Russian said?
Yeah, the Russians are like, whoa, what if they cross the border and start attacking not our territory?
Do it! Do it!
General Lochlin says, go. Go, man, go.
Get in there.
Keep going. Don't stop.
Just keep going. Take it
really,
all back.
It was really poignant what Elias yesterday said on James's show when it came to the press and the propaganda and the misinformation campaigns. Stuff like this, the morale boosters fight against that. Like this is the information war that we see, and this is the best defense to the misinformation is videos like this that get boosted by people like us, people like Zelensky, people like Alex.
Yeah,
this is what they need to see, and that morale is impenetrable in Ukraine right now. It's impenetrable, and they deserve it. They deserve all the credit that they're getting. That army is unstoppable.
Well, yeah, it's incredible to watch.
It's interesting too. I saw another interview with a guy, an American, who was over and he was part of something. He wasn't giving a lot of details, but he was just like, the Ukraine people are just
not fucking around.
They're
doing it by themselves.
I would not mess with these people.
No.
Yeah, and that is the sentiment that we're getting in the West. I realize, Alex, that you guys are fighting this machine that has been going forever in Russia, but we're seeing a different side of this war, right? We're seeing, and again, every time we have a comment about how it's being perceived here, I can see you light up because you're still in the midst of getting information from different sources. So you're not sure how the rest of the world is perceiving this. And the perception that we're getting in North America is that the Ukraine people are badasses and they are not going to lose this war. And that's not just from you. Like, I remember the first time we had you on, you were like, you looked right in the camera and said, we're not going to lose this. And
we will
everybody
stay, we will fight, we will stand. I believe were his exact words.
Yes.
We will win. Yeah.
And so that was inspiring because we're seeing this, awful pictures here, awful images, and it's hard to watch. And now we're getting the good news. Now we're getting these people are not. Yeah, this was a huge mistake by old Putler.
Well, and Alex, explain that too, because like my understanding is you put out a video, and let me just actually play it because it's an interesting one. You talk about I believe walnut trees. Or is it chestnut trees? Something to do with trees. Yeah. But you kind of you let a little Putler thing out of the bag here, and I want to play it for you. This is your day 83 video. You got to watch this. Alex puts these out on his Twitter feed all the time, and he just looks more like a grizzly man all the time too. It's incredible. But I want you to watch this real quick. Yeah. This is Alex's day 83 video. And then I want to get to what you talked about with Putin because it looks like he's trying to fucking go, hey, guys, sorry, let's just end this off here, everybody. Let's just finish up.
Day 83. Chestnut trees are the real symbol of Kiev. And when they blossom, the moods are really high. And now the moods are really, really high. Because every day we get more and more good news. The latest news is that our warriors from Azovstal are evacuated and soon, we hope, will be liberated. Also, yesterday, Putler arranged a meeting of ODKB, which is an analog of NATO, only on ex-USSR space, with the dictatorship regimes. And they absolutely had nothing to say. So whatever he wanted to do didn't work out. He is sick, he is old, and he soon will have to leave. We stay, we stand. Slava Ukraini.
Yeah. There
Awesome.
you go.
Fuck yeah.
Awesome,
I had goosebumps, but I just want to grab you
same
and give you a big hug. That's all I want to do. Explain that, like, because Putin is well, obviously he's not well. There's rumors that he's got blood cancer. Putler's not well. Probably he's going to die soon. Great news. But what is this meeting that you talk about? And with because this was a very interesting little piece of information that you dropped on us on your Twitter feed.
Well, ODKB, that's the abbreviation of a organization that was created at least 20 years ago. And that was, by the way, yesterday was the day of its anniversary, so to say. Putler likes anniversaries, as we know. Mm-hmm. That's a Soviet tradition to like anniversaries. And they got together for this summit of ODKB countries. And those countries are, if I can remember correctly, Russia, Belarus, Armenia, Kazakhstan, and some other stans. So same 7 countries in total, and they got together. I call this as a gang of old sick dictators, and they got together. And I suspected that Putler wanted to actually persuade them to get their armies into this war, because he runs out of people. Nothing of the kind happened. They came out, said some bullshit, and left. That's it.
They refused.
Yeah.
So all the stands refused to get involved with Putler because they're like, dude, you're getting mowed down. We want nothing to do with that shit. Like,
you're on your own there.
Yeah.
Bucky. Yeah.
It's fucking unbelievable. It's like even the worst of the worst are like, hey man, that was a bad idea.
It's like inviting people to a party at your house that's on fire. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on in.
Good time.
Like, it's on fire. Dude, it's going to be a great time. Come on in the house. It's on fire, but inside it's okay. And they're like, dude, we're not idiots. We can totally see
the good
that,
nachos.
Like, 100,000 of your people are toast. And he's like, no, I don't believe any of that. Come on in. They're like, go fuck yourself. We're leaving. But no one wants to speak poorly of him, right? Because everybody's still afraid of the guy. But I'm seeing people less and less afraid. Like, I read an article this morning, and I can't remember where it was from, maybe the Atlantic, and they were talking about something you mentioned earlier when we looked at the video of those Ukraine army guys standing on the border of, Ukraine and Russia border saying, hey, just so you know, Mr. Zelensky, we got it. We got control of the border over here. Is that one of the things that Russians are definitely worried about now is the Ukraine war machine creeping into Russia because they're pissed. Like that's it. And then they were saying in the article, it actually might be a possibility that Ukraine goes, you know what? We're going to take some of your shit now, you pricks.
Hey, while we're at it.
Yeah. Keep going.
Have you heard any of that? Have any rumors of that coming up? That like, hey, no, let's keep going.
Let's keep. You mean from our side or from?
Yeah,
No,
Ukraine.
From your side.
Ukraine, like
Eking
like
its
those
way
guys that
into
were at
Russia
the
now.
border. Yeah, those guys are at the border. Like, no, keep them moving, baby. Keep moving into Russia.
They
Let's
don't
take
want
a
that
couple of
shithole.
territories.
No, Ukrainians, we want our territory. We don't want other land. And there's no talks about other lands at all. Yeah, that's we just want.
Well,
to
we
get
can work
our-
on you. Well,
Yeah,
no bad ideas when you're brainstorming.
I hear Bologard would be nice under Ukrainian banner.
Come over.
You guys could at least fix the food for them for fuck's sake.
Yeah, totally. We can fix Okay, so now tell me about Eurovision before we let you go.
What's this?
I never
Eurovision.
in my life watched this. this is like this is pop music. I'm into rock. I'm into rock songs. This is a completely like show that I never watched. But Ukraine won Eurovision several times, which was important for me as a patriot, as a citizen. And this year was really important that our band went there and participated, and there were high stakes that Ukraine would win. And well, my wife likes it. Well, so we, because my wife likes it, I had to watch it overnight.
Absolutely.
We stayed until 3 a.m.
That's a war you can't win.
Yeah.
And I was almost
You
sleeping.
need to put a rifle in her hand. Send her out.
yeah. I should have gotten some more beer, you know.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I was almost sleeping. I was like, oh, well, and,
Yeah. Well, can I just insert here, because Locke, it would be like if your wife was like, honey, you got to wake up for the finale of Canadian Idol.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
there you
well,
go. That just to give you some perspective. Go ahead. So
I'll be honest, I've watched a couple of episodes of Bachelor or Bachelorette or whatever. Love Island.
Yeah.
Love
Oh, dude,
fucking Island.
these are all we're all the same. We have the same Netflix, like, wait for me, don't watch that show problem that every other person has, right? Just wait for why'd you watch the show? Does your wife do that to you? You're like halfway through Ozark and she's like, what are you doing, Alex? We were supposed to stay on episodes together.
No, she's a different type, but I just wanted to. Well, it was important for me as well.
Shh, we won't tell you.
The song is actually good. The song is really
They're all
cool.
different types.
So tell me about it, because this is like Eurovision. It's Europe's Idol, right? It's people go and sing, and the group that went and where was Eurovision this year? If you could,
It's Italy, Torino.
because the Italians won the year before, right?
Yeah,
Eurovision.
yeah,
So whatever country wins,
I've
this
heard
is
of
incredible.
this.
So whatever
Okay.
country wins Eurovision, correct?
Yeah,
Is hosts the next year's Eurovision. Well,
Yeah.
guess what? Where are those guys from, by the way? The guys that won, and what was the name of the band?
You were on this year?
No.
No,
Sorry,
we weren't.
That's
No,
next
no,
year.
no.
Canada joins next year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Canada's going to Eurovision next year, just for fun, I guess.
Where,
We're gonna send
where's
Celine
where's
Dion
the
and, you know.
Ukraine band from in
Ah,
Ukraine,
sorry,
Alex,
Brian
that won
Adams.
Eurovision?
It is from the Western Ukraine, from Lviv region. It's from a city called Kalush, and it's called Kalush Orchestra. The band is called Kalush Orchestra, originally from that city. But anyway, they plan to go before the war. You know, so the plan they were chosen, they were selected to go to Eurovision before the war started. So the plans didn't cancel, and we really we needed this politically, because if we win this year, we have to do it next year. We need to finish the war soon, and so on. But also we needed this support. And again, I was like half asleep, because the first part of the voting is done by a jury, and the jury rated us as number 4. I was like, oh, That's it. I don't know how the calculation goes. I was like, oh, we're number 4. We are too far from being, to the winner.
winners.
Because number 1 was UK.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna just sleep. and then it turned out that the second part is by voters from the countries, and which is important really for the war situation now, that the voters gave us the highest possible, like 450 points. That is like unbelievably high. 450 points. 28 or 29 countries rated Ukraine as number 1. 29 countries. That is such a support to us, to our country. Unbelievable support. And this is such a great push to this to Russia. It was actually actually not allowed to come.
They didn't participate. Russia didn't participate this year.
Probably Belarus got sent home too.
Yeah,
real quick.
Yeah.
Dude, like it's incredible. Like if you think about it, right? Like all of Europe, it's Canadian Idol. It's like a live television. It's a huge, like Eurovision is a massive fucking show over in Europe. Everybody watches.
Yeah.
It's country versus country, band versus band, singer
That's
versus
awesome.
singer. Yeah, and this is Alex. So he sends me this video of him watching it, dying laughing, and I can't help but laugh every time I watch it too. But this is the actual Eurovision win and the group that won. And they're this really cool sort of urban looking group of young men and women that put together this incredible show. If you watched it, it was really, really good. But this is Alex, like after the win, because this was that important for this country, like to be put on the pedestal, to see the support, because you guys are in a silo, right? You don't know if the rest of the world supports you. You're only getting the information about the war and getting by. So like, what a beautiful nod to this country and what they're going through. Watch this. Listen to Alex laugh.
Слава Україні.
Wow.
Отак от.
That's very cool.
That is so cool.
Молодці, зайчики.
I was so quiet because the baby was sleeping, and I would jump, and my wife was actually jumping. I shot a part of it later, but that was such an emotional episode. We couldn't sleep after that.
No kidding.
Yeah, dude. It's just so awesome. And the good news is that whoever wins gets to host. So good news, everybody. Eurovision.
We're going to
You sent this
Ukraine.
me.
Yeah,
So
just
contest.
look at that. Sevastopol is actually Crimea.
So they're trolling him
Yep.
even with this. This is amazing.
Even with Eurovision. Oh, that's
So
amazing.
good. And the fact,
Ukraine.
and what a morale boost that the Backstreet Borscht aren't allowed to play in it. So I'm absolutely ecstatic that Russia got thrown out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have to. So this is not a good sign, because if you plan on holding it in Sevastopol, that's Crimea. So I guess you'll be taking that back next, just for shits and giggles. Yeah, and probably you should do is send
Spoiler
Putin a
alert.
note saying, "Hey, listen, we'll be taking Crimea back because we need to host Eurovision next."
Yeah, because we won.
Why don't you die?
Well, you're at it. Die. I love it.
Love Alex.
Oh, you don't like it? Die about it.
Oh my God! It's just so many, and the good news is that we're talking about good news finally. Like having Alex on weekly and watching you go through these series of emotions in different eras and different stages and phases of grief and concern and worry and anxiety and stress, and seeing you laugh and getting that video from me the other night. I watched it like 15 times in a row, and I can't understand anything you're saying, right? Because you're speaking in Ukrainian, and I'm like, I don't even give a shit. It's just the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And then when I did a little reading, and I realized the country that wins it gets to host it next year, I'm like, well, that's it. These people are crazy for this show. They're going to take everything back and have like a cross Ukraine tour with people in this whole thing. It's an incredible story, and I absolutely love the whole idea. I love telling it. I love listening to you talk about it, and I love what it's done for your country too, Alex. It's really cool, like super cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Fun to watch.
Good. Yeah,
Fuck off, guys. I'm tired.
we're gonna get lots of tourists. That's for sure. You guys are,
And you can
welcome
count
to
on
come.
us being some of them, because you know
Yeah,
what? We've already made a
We got
decision.
to
that,
make our way over.
we're making
Oh,
our
dude.
way.
Air tickets.
Yeah,
By the way,
dude.
Wizz Air, which is one of low costers from Hungary, already started
Going back.
selling tickets for flights from Ukraine
Really?
for July.
Are you looking at going back home, Alex? I know you're living in another part of the country to avoid the conflict. Have you and your wife had more concerted conversations about the move back to the apartment?
Oh man, we think about it every day. The only thing that keeps us is fuel.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's what we can also discuss if we have time.
Yeah, we do. We've got time. Yeah, there's
Absolutely.
a major fuel shortage. I mean, it's and I was talking to my brother about it. They're having a hard time actually getting fuel to send trucks across the country. But what's that like right now? Obviously, the fuel shortage is huge for a bunch of reasons. But what's going on?
That's a complete fuck up, guys. That's like, well, for the past 2 weeks, you can't buy fuel at all.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that there is a raise in price for fuel in Europe. The prices are raising in the US, everywhere.
Canada too.
But
Yeah.
we
Canada,
just
yeah.
don't have it, and the prices here raised like 3 times, but we don't have it. I'd buy it, but for the 3 times higher prices. But I just shot a video and sent it to Dean today. I was in the street, and it was a 2 kilometers long line, and the people the cars stay there for 5-6 hours.
Oh my God.
Just to get gas. Yeah.
So where are you getting your bulk fuel from now?
I just don't drive.
No, I mean, like, where is the country getting the fuel from? Where is it
Coming in from Poland or?
Yeah. From Poland. But the problem was that a couple of weeks ago, the Russians actually destroyed the biggest, the largest
refinery?
Oil refinery. Yeah, that's the video. Yeah, and this oil refinery is actually 100 kilometers away from Cherkasy, where I'm now.
Oh my God.
So this is where it ends.
This is when. So yeah,
Sorry,
let's play this
fine.
video. This is we'll play it now so people can see. This is the video that you sent me. This is the lineup, and this is the end of the lineup that you're at.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, and
Like fuel. So this is the line that starts from there, goes all the way here, and turns around there, and goes all the way up to that gas station.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I don't know how many kilometers it is, but
Oh my
people
God.
wait for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
if there was fuel, we would go home immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the question: would you complain about the price of gas like we do over here, like total
Yeah.
elite losers?
Constant every day. We're bitching about it on
All
a
you
radio
hear
show.
about.
Yeah,
All
dude,
you
even
hear.
just talking to you today is like such an eye opener because everybody's like, gas is like 30% more. I can't believe it. I got to put the car away. This is a travesty. It's an America. They're like people protesting about gas prices, and you're like, oh yeah, that lineup's like 4 days long,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just more perspective. It's just an unbelievable story. But
I'm not going to be able to go camping this summer.
Yeah,
You know.
But just to give you
Cauliflower is
another,
like $6 a head.
yeah.
just to give you one more perspective, I talked to we probably discussed it. I collect witnesses for testimonies for the International Criminal Court. We had a witness today from Dnipro. It's a large city. Anyway, it's in the middle of Ukraine, who goes to Severodonetsk, the one which is now the hottest war zone. And it takes him 6 hours to get there. This is a volunteer who goes there with humanitarian aid. So he brings food to those people. On his way, he often is shelled. There's shelling on this road where he goes, and he sees lots of cars being destroyed on the road that he goes. And he still keeps going. He's on his way every other day, I think, or every third day. And he says, "Well, I would like to go there again. The only problem is the fuel. If I had the fuel, I would go."
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
Go figure.
Yeah, dude, it's like the everything changes all the time. What was true yesterday and might not be true today, right? The things you're grateful for 5 days ago don't exist. Like no gas, couldn't go anywhere, can't go anywhere. Like Alex is saying here, listen, if I had gas, if I could put gas in a car, physically do it, I would get in my car and I would drive home and I would try to resume my life in a city that I love and that I'm from, right? Irpin. But they can't. And it's funny because he's still smiling about it because he knows, like, he's still laughing, he's smiling because it doesn't matter. All the other things that are feeding into, how you're talking to us about what's happening in your country, obviously put you in a different headspace, right? Like, how different is your headspace today than it was 83 days ago? Do you feel more hopeful than you did before? Do you see light at the end of the tunnel now because of some of this stuff? And is the gas shortage just a nuisance at this point?
Absolutely, especially after May 9th. So for the past week, the moods are really high. I had been optimistic all the time. Just like you said, in our first talks, I was completely confident we would win. I just didn't know how much time it would take. Now, of course, I'm a lot more optimistic. Well, and the real spring has come in all senses. We discussed that already. The winter is already losing. The winter is losing. The winter has lost. The winter has lost. Russia has lost. Everyone understands it. Everyone. Even Russia starts understanding it. I listen to propaganda from Russia, and they're like, they are changing their rhetorics. They are not they're like, oh, well, they're actually warriors. They are strong. Oh, well, of course. How did we try to get them? How did we think about getting this land fast? No, it's not going to take fast. It's going to take long. And by the way, they might even attack us at some point. Stuff like that. But the moods are really high.
Yeah, it should be. That would be a great question I would ask you too, Alex. Is what's the rhetoric coming out of Russia? Has that changed? And you just said it has a little bit. Are you noticing that on Telegram, like when you're kind of consuming Russian media? Are you seeing a change in the tenor of the conversation? Because obviously they're still not going to tell the truth, but they're running such enormous propaganda and disinformation on such a massive scale that you would think 100,000 people not coming home, or you would think sailors dying and not coming home. And of course, this is the loss is on such a massive scale. They're going to have to come up with something to make all those people think that not only was this not a war, not only did we not lose, this was just a thing, and don't worry about it. Like, are they trying to curate a different narrative around the invasion of Ukraine already?
Yeah. Exactly. We are seeing this. They used to have this denazification. If you remember this term, that was a term. Yeah, this was denazification. It's even hard to pronounce. Yeah. And it turned out that they invented it in the military circles because those were the only ones who knew about the operation. They didn't inform others. Even the Minister of Foreign Affairs did not know the plan of the war. Even the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So they invented this term. Later, it turned out that this term is a bullshit, and people don't even understand what it is all about. So they did a poll, or what do you call it? A sociological research survey. Yeah. And they started asking Russian people what they think about this denazification. Turned out lots of people didn't even know couldn't even pronounce this word. Couldn't even pronounce the word. So they're like, oh, okay, we have to change the rhetorics. We have to change the narrative. And so now the narrative is, by the way, that that's not the Ukraine. That's not Ukraine fighting against us, or we are fighting against the West. We are fighting against the US, Europe, NATO, because that's what we are fighting about. It's not Ukraine. Ukraine is just a playground, and they are using all their lies and bullshit that they had used for the past 8 years.
that's
I've
why
been
they
watching that.
That's encouraging too, right? The fact
yeah.
that they're making up brand new lies that move in a totally different direction because you guys are whooping that ass.
Yeah. I'm watching Mulvaney. I recorded it. There's a CNN, and it's about the opposition to Putin, and he was talking about the fact that Russians just have become so complacent with the news that they get. They know it's not right, but that's all they have. So they're just it's interesting that mindset is just different, right? Like
I think what Alex, he hit the nail on the head here, and it was a strategic blunder on the Russian propaganda side, was using the term denazification is antagonist to the West. It's not antagonist to Russians. Russians don't give a shit. Because it's not in the lexicon of that we hold it in such regard of hate and vile vitriol. They don't hold it the same. Like, of course, the Russians aren't Nazis, but they don't hate it as much as we do. So I think that their information campaign was directed at us. And now what's happening? They forgot. Oh shit, we're talking to our own people. Oh, we forgot how to talk to our own people. We've been so busy fucking with the West. We forgot to tell our own people how, and lie to them properly. So then, what did they do? Okay, well, we can say the West is here now. They have these biolabs, and they have the bioweapons, and they're making birds fuck other birds, and it's going to kill you, and it's going to make mosquitoes kill you.
I didn't hear the bird fucking one, but that's interesting.
Yeah, it was a bird. They were infecting birds and sending them over the border.
There was something about that.
So they've lost the plot. Like, they've lost their own plot of disinformation to their
I'd say
own
when you
people.
go bird fucking, it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, listen, you don't expect us to believe that one.
Well, they had denazified. That didn't work. So now they're trying bird fucking.
Getting rid of the bird
They're
fucking.
liberating. Right? The other thing that they're saying is they're liberating Ukraine. Right. Russia is now.
And Ukraine is liberating young men from their boots at the same time, which has been a lot of fun to watch. But I mean, it's unbelievable. Like that's like when I saw that turn to the West, Lavrov said it a couple weeks ago. I'm like, here we go, you losers. You're losing, and you're changing the entire conversation, and you're trying to rally people behind a greater evil that doesn't exist, and these beautiful people that are just trying to get by, and it all looks fucking great watching them run like scared children. It is awesome. And listen, it's over. Like, by and large, every single military expert that I watch on television or that I read, they're like, Russia lost. Like, it's not even that they're losing. It really feels, Alex, like they've lost. Does it not? Not even an objective thing. It's like you are losing and you've lost. Like, the war is effectively over, even though horrific things continue to happen. But is that not kind of the narrative that's going on there right now?
Well, well, on our side, yes. They, of course, but because we are thinking on how they adjust to this, how they adjust their narratives to that. Mm-hmm. That's very interesting to watch. I especially look at those propaganda TV stars. They have like a number of those.
Yeah.
And they are like completely lost. They don't know what to say because everything they have been doing for all these years is lying and lying and lying. And about the West, where they actually buy villas. One of them has villas in Italy and Spain, and both have been arrested. And now he's like, oh wow. Well, I've spent all my life for getting these villas, you know, and now I don't have it, and everything I've done in my life is like, so it affects those, and this is very important because this is how it will start breaking because they start having scandals between each other. You know, this specific propaganda guy, started to yelling at one of the governors in Russia, so there was a verbal fight between them. And this is all good for us. The more fights they have inside, it means that it's breaking. The whole system is starting shaking.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever heard the term QAnon?
No.
It's funny.
Go ahead.
You mentioned one of the news stars or whatever in Russia. I was watching some footage of it, and it was obviously being relayed back to us, translated from Russian into English. And it's interesting because we have this phenomenon in North America called QAnon, and it's difficult to explain, but it was kind of Donald Trump related, and it was just used as a misinformation piece to divide Western civilization. But the funny thing was, when I was listening back to this so-called interview between this Russian state thing, and they were talking about Navalny, but it was all QAnon based stuff. It's so funny that they have the same strategies to confuse the population in Russia that they're using in and it's the same narrative, the same kind of strategies.
Nazis,
developed by the same
pedophiles,
people.
baby eaters, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's developed by the same people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's just tweaked for different regions, and I think what they've done is they've gotten it wrong. And to Alex's point, something you brought up earlier, Locke, about McDonald's, you're right. This is where you start to see the infighting, and this is where the inside changes from within, and you get the Russian oligarchs and the propaganda artists and the news people, and they're like, now my tap is running dry. Fuck you.
We're taking their shit, and they're like,
Where's
I worked
my
my whole
money?
life for that shit. Where's my shit that I worked my whole
Yeah.
life for? I was a dedicated person to you to get that shit, and now the shit's gone. Where are you? And then that's when the chirping starts, and that's when the infighting starts, and that's when someone slips a little polonium into Vlad's tea, and that's when his face explodes like a baby's diaper. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
Like an ivermectin diaper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Alex, listen, we're going to let you go. I know it's closing in on midnight or after midnight where you are in Ukraine. I want everybody to follow this man. Alex Dayrabekov is his name. @Dayrabekov is his Twitter handle. Please be safe. Please find some gas, because soon I want to actually do these from your apartment.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And when you
Yeah,
get
that's
there,
the plan.
check the freezer and throw everything out.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Don't drink the milk.
Don't drink the milk.
The milk's no good now.
We were clever enough to empty it before we left, so
Smart.
Hey,
that
that's
was a
smart.
big problem for many people.
Real
Oh,
quick
for
before
sure.
we go, how's our tour? Is he good?
Oh
Cool,
yeah,
good boy.
he just turned 3 months, and he's a good boy. He's like he starts singing with me.
Is he singing with you now? Singing along with you, staring at
Yeah. You got a rock star there, Alex. You got a rock star.
He's the next Beatle.
Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, before we finish, I'd like to thank you all, guys. I actually finally received the funds, and
Nice.
we're so happy because we almost ran out of the funds, and we were like saving, and trying to to do the more with the little. Now we have that's a lot. The money that we got from you is a lot, and we intensified our volunteer activities, and
Nice.
yeah. So thank you for that.
Oh,
so
it's our
awesome.
pleasure. It's the least we can do. We're continuing to do it.
Yeah.
Alex, you stay safe. Hang in there. Say hello to the wife and our tour for us, and start packing, because it sounds like you're heading home soon, and I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
Nice, Alex. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you guys. Yeah.
Slava
Take care.
Ukraine, my friend.
Slava Ukraine.
Heroям slava, heroям slava.
We'll talk to you soon. Take care, my man. There's
Love you, buddy.
Alex Dayrabekov from Cherkasy,
Good guy.
Ukraine. Dayrabekov is where you can find him on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm glad we got the money to him. We were having some issues there with PayPal, but that all seemed to work out. I guess the transferring funds. Listen,
He doesn't take the tech, like, you can't make fun of him for being a tech genius. He gets upset. Don't do it. He gets real, like, he in technology have a problem, to the point where we were on the show prior to going on the show, and Lochlin was like, I want to talk to you guys about tech. And then he's like, you know what? Forget it, because you're going to make fun of me. Forget it.
Yeah.
So don't
I just
go
had
down
never
that well.
scheduled a tweet before. I think it worked. It's probably gone out 3,700
I
times.
was
Still.
just gonna say they've already banned Lachlan's account. He's tweeting porn
I'm
for some
flooding
reason.
the market. Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm on. I got a Shake Pay account where I'm losing money daily on Bitcoin.
Oh,
I'm
that's
doing
a
all the
shithole,
tech
isn't it?
stuff.
Can you-
I'm doing all the tech stuff? Bite me.
Did you see
All
all
of
the
it.
tech guys, all the NFT guys? I was laughing because my buddy Graham says NFT stands for no more Munty. I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Hey guys, I got to go take a.
You have to do urine.
slasher. I got to.
Yeah.
I got to
You
urinate.
go
Hang on,
do
I'll be
some
right
urine.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
Bio
Yeah.
break.
Bio break. He's got to go to the bathroom. I think several of us do here. But at the same time, it was fucking great to catch up with Alex, wasn't it? It was so awesome to see him today. It was great to talk to him. It was great to see him smiling. Like that's one of the things I noticed, Linz, is like, you know, when you're watching him talk to you now, the smiles are more often. You know, he's more animated. You can see just in him that the Ukrainian people are getting through this war and they're winning in the face of every odd being against them. And that's what got me today. You know, if there's a takeaway, we're not done the show, but if there's a takeaway, the takeaway for me was seeing a man who's been in straits. And we've talked to him every week for the past 83 days.
Yep.
Just in straits for 3 months. One day he's just can't talk. Next day he's like, I can only do 20 minutes because I just can't talk about what I saw today. I'm sorry, you know, and so gracious with his time. And we've seen him run the gamut of emotions as these phases go through. Shock that planes are flying over his apartment, shock that he had to throw everything into the back of his car and just drive to the middle of nowhere and find an Airbnb where he could stay with his wife, shock that the air sirens are going off in the middle of the day and the night, you know, sadness that he was losing friends and family members, like just sheer terror, and talking to him, watching him talk about his neighbors and people he knew that he was waving goodbye to a few weeks earlier, getting shot as they were trying to leave as Russians closed in on Irpin and Bucha, where we've seen, you know, so much devastation and so much sadness and so much death, needless death and torture of these beautiful people. And to see him today, you know, to see him smiling, to see him happy, to see him joking around, talking about Eurovision and the end of the war as if it might be near.
Yeah.
Like, what a fucking incredible journey for us just to watch. Right?
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, I think back every time we had Alex on, and from day one, how it was that uncertainty. It was positive, but it was still angst and uncertainty, and you're in the middle of a fucking war, of course, right? So to watch the progression of where he came from, like you say, to where he is today is it's something else, man. Like, it is something else. It's it makes everything we did worth it, you know. It makes all the work, all the stress that you went through with PayPal, and the constant.
A lot of that was my
with,
issue.
I know. We're just kidding. I mean, we took like. I think all of us took it personally. Like, we all took it really personally because we got to really know him, you know, like, and yeah, it's virtual, but it's the same way he became one of us, you know? So
yeah,
to see, we were just saying while you were gone, Dean was saying that to watch the transformation from day 1 to day 82 of Alex and his demeanor and the conversation, and to see him smile more now, and to see his, he
is a little more relaxed,
and he was more he was positive throughout the entire up to this point, but it's gotten now where he looks, you're right, he looks like a little bit of relief is starting to seep in a bit for him. I hope he's sleeping better. I would imagine he is. That playoff,
he always looked a little bit, he always looked a little ragged, like he you know what I mean, like he always had that kind of look, like he was, you know, on the verge of you know, passing out or whatever, right? He's definitely looking way clearer in his eyes. I you know what I always try to do is I try to make him laugh. Same. And I have from the beginning. And so when you can get him going a little bit is always, for me, that's
when you know he's better, right? Like, when that's right off the top, like, we've watched him go through war.
Yeah.
And to see him joking around, laughing about different stuff, having a laugh, like he never wanted to be in that mode of like enjoying, kind of kibitzing, hanging out with guys. He was always like, no, we need to get this out. This is what's on today. Like, you should see our text back and forth. What do you want covered? This, please play this video. Very important. People see this. Very important. We talk about this. This was the first day that he was like smiling, laughing, going, no, let's just have some fun. Let's enjoy it. We're in such a good space, and this is still going on. So like, if you want to talk about resilience and what that looks like in a time when you're paying $2.09 a liter for gas and how much of a fucking egregious crime that is, or you're upset that you're one of 68% of people that took ivermectin that has like serious IBS issues. I got news for you. Nobody cares. In the face of talking to guys like Alex, literally, like there is not something in my mind that I'm ever going to go through that is that scary, that bad, that uncertain, that out of control, right? And there he is going, I went through it, I accepted it, I'm still going, and we're going to stay here, and we're going to win. And by the way, I'm going home. Oh, by the way, they're resuming tourism in that part of Ukraine in July. So he's like, did you hear him? He's like, just so you guys know, Wizz Airlines flies in from Hungary and Poland. Maybe just hop a little. Like, I'm going. I'm going at the end of the summer. I'm going either with you guys or without you, but I'm going to Ukraine. And I am going to see Alex, and I promised him, because I haven't drank in like 5 years, that I'm going to have a drink with him. And that is exactly what I'm going to do.
We'll bring him.
Am I going to get wasted again for the next several years? Probably not. But what I'm going to do is go over there because I want to see him. I want to see these people. I want to experience it. And it's not fear. I'm not going over to fight. But if they're saying, hey, come on over, we can appreciate your tourism dollars. And by the way, Wizz Air is flying for $99.50 a flight. I'm like, yeah, for sure. I'm going Wizz Air over to Ukraine. But just an honor to be able to know that man.
You hit on something interesting at the beginning of our conversation before we had Alex on about ivermectin and about the fact that we didn't actually capitalize on that as a group, and that we should have, right? We should have had some boosts out there. We should have had like selling Triscuit crackers with the ivermectin. We could at this juncture maybe like shift into selling ivermectin diapers.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah,
we can get cloth ones with our logo on it and stuff.
People I should check with Scotty and see if we can put diapers up.
Well, because they hate us anyway. Diapers. We can get the logo right in the right where the shithole meets, and they say just shit on us. Here,
Did you take
a shit on us?
Did you take ivermectin to prevent COVID? And is your intestines now leaking out of the back end of your? Would you like an ivermectin diaper with the Dean Blundell podcast
logo on the
network
back.
Logo on it?
Yeah. Shit on us.
Take a shit
you
on us. You
poor bastards. That's the ultimate troll job, is selling diapers specifically for people who've lost their ability to shit on command because they took ivermectin instead of getting a fucking vaccine.
I can't think of anything worse. It like not being able to whack off and shitting yourself every day.
Dude, we talked about it at the start of the podcast. If you took ivermectin, folks, good luck with your asshole.
And your willy.
They're calling it long haul asshole syndrome. Ivermectin's hidden cost. Fox News, of all places, of all people, of all brands. It's like, we got a new study that shows about 70% of people who used ivermectin now have the permanent
hope you didn't
shits.
Get
COVID. Hey, remember that stuff we told you to take? Well, look at this.
But is your asshole leaking?
Yeah, how's your bung piece? Not great. But I want to talk. One of the things I want to get to today is like we think those people are having a bad day. Did you guys watch Mitch Marner's terrible day the other day? Did you see this?
Yeah. So
my God, he is the Maple Leafs winger / centerman forward. He's all world. He's incredible. He did next to nothing in the playoffs yet again, despite a strong showing by the team in a 7-game series. I'm trying to be nice and not be mad, but fuck. I mean, 5 years. Game 7s, all of them in a row, you lose. The only professional sports franchise to ever lose a deciding game 5 years in a row in the first round in any sport. So
there's
just
a
add
banner.
that to the. Oh, it's not great.
Put that up.
Every single professional sports league in professional sports. That's a banner. You're right. That should be
in the history of
sticker,
sports, in the history of humanity and competition.
I was
this has
cheering
never
for
happened
Toronto.
before.
I was
That's fucking
cheering for
unbelievable.
Toronto.
Yeah.
And then that
Gladiators from
happened.
centuries ago were going, what the fuck is wrong
What are
with
you
you?
doing? Yeah.
Now watching the misery is just awesome.
It's incredible.
It is.
It's
so
incredible.
awesome.
Schadenfreude.
So I want you to stay with me for this one because this is fascinating. So Mitch Marner didn't have another great series. This has been 3 years, 4, 5, actually 5. Let's go 5 years in a row where Mitch Marner has had a very difficult time in the playoffs for some reason or other. Started hot, not so much.
He's an Ontario kid too, isn't he?
He sure is. He's actually a Markham/Thornhill kid. So
Mhm.
he's from this region.
Isn't his dad a bit of a dick or something?
His dad has a tough time with human beings, yeah.
Okay. All right. I have heard this.
There's a lot of CBC videos out there because CBC followed Mitch Marner Sr., Paul Marner, I think his name is, around with cameras when Mitch was like 7 years old or 10 years old as a kid, and just abusing him verbally too. I swear to fucking God, Mitch, banging on the glass and stuff when he was like 10.
Mhm.
You know, and then driving home with Mitch in the back of the car, and he's like, "How do you think you played today?" And they lost. Mitch is like, "I think we lost." Little kid is like, "Yeah, is that what you want to tell your mom? Is that what you want to tell your mom?" Like he's that guy. He's a hockey dad.
But he's
But
in the
it's-
NHL. So are we going to judge him?
Well, he didn't do it. Mitch did it. Anyway,
right.
Mitch loses. Mitch is maligned in the playoffs. Fast forward 24 hours. Dude got carjacked at gunpoint. This is from
Yeah,
Leafs
that's
PR. We
bad.
can confirm Mitch Marner was the unfortunate victim of a carjacking in Etobicoke on Monday evening. He was unharmed in the incident, and the club and Mitch are thankful for Toronto Police Services support. Anyone with information is asked to reach out to the Toronto Police Services. And then Leafs PR put out this saying Toronto Police Service asked neither Mitch nor the club comment any further on the details of the incident as this is an ongoing investigation. Now, here are the details. From my understanding, oh, no, those are the wrong details, is that Mitch was in Etobicoke and he was coming out of or going into a movie theater.
Yeah.
And apparently there are gangs of guys that like to steal sweet rides. He's driving a black Range Rover, brand new. My understanding is it was brand new. And not only is he driving this black Range Rover, but he was with a significant other, I believe. And he was held at gunpoint and said, "We want the keys to the car, get out." Mitch smartly is like, "No problem. Here you go. Keys to my ride. Don't care." And they take off. Mitch, super rattled, who he was with as well, apparently super rattled, and made a police report, and that is all we know.
Yeah.
Could that be the worst 48 hours in Mitch Marner's career? You lose the 7th game for the 5th year in a row.
Yeah.
Don't get out of the first round. You have to sit in front of people and answer all the stupid questions, which he did. Answer, why didn't you produce? Why'd you get... I don't know. You decide you want to blow off a little steam. Want to go to a movie? Sure, I'll go to a movie with you, Mitch. Get
Is
in the Black
Titanic
Range Rover. Let's
showing
go to
again?
the movies. Titanic show. Miracle. That old hockey show. Is that? Are we going to watch the new Shoresy spinoff? Something.
Shoresy spinoff, yeah.
He's like, yeah, let's watch. He gets to the theater. He gets 2 guns put in his. By the way, 2 guns, 2 men,
And a
2
knife.
guns. Another guy with a knife.
Yeah.
He gets at gunpoint, knife point. He gets carjacked within a 24-hour period. I don't know of a more unlucky 24 hours in Toronto sports history, if you ask me. I really
The
don't.
kid makes millions of dollars to play.
Dude, doesn't
hockey.
matter. Do you know how fucking how affected you would be? I have been mugged. My very first year, I got to Detroit. I was doing radio in Windsor, and they're like, "Hey, go to Detroit. You got to go to a concert. Take the van. Take the radio station van. Just drive across Detroit."
This is
I'm from Western
breaking news.
Canada. I drive anywhere. Say hi to anybody. If you get lost, you stop at a gas station. You ask for directions, right?
Yeah.
So I get lost. I stop at a gas station at Gratiot and I-75, maybe the most dangerous area in all of Detroit. I just got there, had no idea. I was on my way to a concert in Pine Knob.
Pine Knob.
Pine Knob was the name of the place.
Of course it was.
So I go into a gas station, and I'm like, "Hey, man," and I'm wearing a mandarin collared shirt, khaki shorts, and cool Birkenstocks, and my
as
hair
white
looks
as
sick.
it gets. Yeah. As
Yeah,
white
you're-
bread
you're
is
re-
Wonder Bread.
I look sick. I look good.
How to say
And I
you're
walk
white
up to a
without
gas
saying you're
station.
white.
Now, the window pane at the gas station is literally
about white.
that thick. And I'm like, I can barely see in. And I'm like, hello,
Yeah.
hello. And guy's like, "You better get out of here." And I'm like, huh? I need to know how to get on I-75. I got to go to Gratiot, and I said, I got to go to Pine Knob. You know where Pine Knob is? He's like, "Boy, you better get out of here."
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, I hear this guy go, "I got directions." And I'm like, "Sure, no problem. You got directions?"
Thank you, kind sir.
Guy's like, come around here inside my car. I'll get you a map. And I'm like, that sounds great. He pulls out a knife that was probably about 12 feet long. It had to be. It was maybe 12 inches, but it felt like it was 12 feet. And he goes, now I want all your fucking money. And I'm like, you can have it all. It's all in Canadian. I'm like, so start crying. I'm like, here, take it. I'm emptying
Did he at
my
least
pockets.
give you directions?
I go to give him the keys to it was the
give
river
you
van.
direct-
The radio station was the river van. I go, you want the van too? You can take it. He goes, I want your fucking van. I want your fucking money. And I'm like, it's just Canadian. He's like, I'll get it exchanged. I go, you just, the border's right there. You can go. He goes, I know where to go. Now get the fuck out. And I'm like, and the guy in the gas station behind the thing that told me to go, he's like, I told you should have left. And like five to 15 feet away is a Burger King. And all these people outside the Burger King eating burgers, like listening to music, just start killing themselves laughing at this stupid idiot in a Mandarin collared shirt, getting ready to go introduce the Indigo Girls on stage at a concert.
Again,
get
how do you
directions
say
from
you're
him?
white without saying you're white?
Yeah.
I didn't even get to the show. I turned around, full tears, went back across the border. I phoned my boss. And I'm like, I got mugged, and I'm never going there again. And I hung up the phone.
You missed
And
the
it was
Indigo Girls?
dramatic.
Something
Yeah.
very, very similar. I didn't get mugged, but something similar. A similar interaction happened when I was
Not
in
done
North
my story.
Carolina. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish. I was just gonna say I feel your pain. I happened to be in North Carolina at a hotel where they wouldn't even give us a room. They said, "No, you don't want to stay here."
You don't want to stay here.
Okay.
You're not
Understood,
armed.
sir.
I was done. I was joking.
No, yeah, that's I wonder how'd that phone call go with his
never
dad
been
this morning?
mugged.
What do you think, eh? Dad, I
Not
lost my
good.
car. You fucking idiot! What do you mean you lost your fucking car?
Yeah, Paul Marner. He's like, Mitch, if I told you before, you got to get a club and put it around the steering wheel. What the
You
fuck
didn't
is wrong
lock the
with you?
fucking car. You should have just drove away, you fucking idiot. Banging on the window at him.
If you put on Closer to Fine, I'd be able to sing along with that song. How do you know you're white without saying you're white? I know an Indigo Girls song.
I don't though. That's the
My
thing. I don't
wife
even know how they
liked
work.
them.
Yeah, I
The
know,
new
dude.
Gino
I got
Vanelli
paid
is
to go
great.
there. I got paid. They're like, go to, and they're like, just go there.
You didn't
this
have
is
to wear
where
that
it
shirt,
is.
though.
Well, no,
You
they
didn't
said
have to wear that shirt.
no. They said dress
Don't
like
be
you're
forced
a ninth grade loser, and I'm like, Mandarin collared shirt, like I looked like I was
And
going
khakis?
to the fair.
Khaki shorts.
Khakis,
Did they have
khaki
pockets, like
shorts.
cargo pockets.
No cargo pleats. I had the pleated cargo,
Oh,
the
did
car
you
like
have
the
the
khaki
pleated?
shorts. I look fucking good, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anyway, poor Mitchie, he got toasted. I feel sorry for the guy.
I do too.
I know.
What
That
a
is
fucking
a bad
terrible
couple of
24
days.
hours.
Yeah.
Another fella I don't feel sorry for. He went absolutely apeshit on Twitter yesterday. I think we broke Jordan Peterson, and I'm not kidding you.
I really think we did too.
So you know how
Did he-
Jordo?
Did he respond to any more of your tweets?
Oh yeah, lots of them.
And so did
Yeah.
his little friends.
Yeah. So his little friends, they came out. Ryan's on the socials team, so he gets to be part of that as well. So Jordan Peterson goes on an all-time heater last night. Like, I mean, one of those heaters where you're like, my God, this guy is on something tonight, right now. Like, fuck. You know when someone's like on this Twitter rampage where it's like tweet after tweet after tweet, subtweet that tweet, and it's like all random thoughts, like different processes. That was Jordo yesterday. Oh,
Yeah.
that's not that one.
Synapses were firing on every corner of that guy's fucking.
Yeah,
skull.
and it was all in 1 hour. It was like about 10:30 to 12ish. Jordan was like tweeting about how the world sucks, everybody sucks, I hate it here, and it was after. If you remember yesterday, he tweeted a picture of this young lady.
Yeah.
Right. Her name is Yumi Nu. She's a swimsuit issue model, SI swimsuit model. She's a cover girl. There's 4 cover girls on the model of it. Kim Kardashian, Sierra, and an older lady who looks terrific. And then this lady, full figure, looks beautiful. Jordan just decides out of nowhere he's going to chime in, and it was fucking great because we took a strip off, and then he put this out while we were on the show yesterday. He's like, "Sorry, she's not beautiful, and no amount of authoritarian tolerance is going to change that," which is like super.
What does that even
misogynist.
mean?
It just means that I don't think she's beautiful, and there's nobody on here that can bully me into thinking she's beautiful. That's what that means.
It's that mindset of you can't body shame, so that means you're either you think she's hot or you are body shaming, and he's trying to push that narrative, which nobody's ever tried to push on Jordan Peterson.
No, so
But
Jordan
there's just different types of. Everyone's wired differently. What I
That's right.
find attractive is different from what Ryan finds attractive different than Dean finds attractive. Some
Right.
guys are boob guys. Some guys are bum guys.
Yep.
Some guys the booty can't be big enough, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everybody has different like things.
BBWs.
That,
People
they
love
turn,
BBWs. People love skinny
Yeah.
people. People love
Yeah, and
guys
what
with
you
beards.
like is none of my business, and what I like is none of your business, and it shouldn't be
I don't
judged
understand why he has to make a blanket statement like
Well,
that.
I'll tell
Like,
you why. Is because
I-
he has to be the center of attention. That's what he loves. He loves to stay up, center of attention. I want to be the guy. You're going to notice me. I want it's all
Right.
about me. So he quits Twitter last night. He's like, and keep in mind, so he puts out this tweet about how offensive everybody was yesterday too. This is not the tweet. This is the tweet, I believe, where he said, and we did this to him. I talked with someone that knows him, and he hates me, obviously. And apparently the start of this was when he took exception with the fact that I said basically every Jordan Peterson bro has a small dick, according to everyone I've ever talked that's dated a Jordan Peterson bro for any short period of time. And that's when he chimed in. He's like, go fuck yourself. And I'm like, whatever, you're a douche. And that trended across Canada for a couple days. But Jordan then, as a result of that, says the endless flood of vicious insult is not really something that can be experienced anywhere else. I like to follow people, I know, but I'm thinking the incentive structure of the platform makes it intrinsically different and dangerous. He also said he was off Twitter for a long time and came back effectively to that tweet that we leveled at him that went viral because everybody knows he's a douche. Then he puts this out last night after literally going on this tweet storm. So I told my staff to change my password to keep me from temptation.
My staff.
And departing once again. If I have something to say, I'll write an article or make a video. If the issue is not important enough to justify that, then perhaps it would be best to just let it go. You think, you dumb fuck? You think perhaps it would be just best to let it go? Like after everything that you've said and the dressing down and all the drugs you had to go on because you couldn't believe people hated your guts, your misogynist, colonial, theocratic guts, that
maybe he should read
should have
his
let it go.
Pet a Cat, Make Your Bed book again.
Yeah.
But he didn't leave Twitter. He came right
he
back
did.
on Twitter. He didn't come back to tell anybody anything. No nuggets of information. How can you fucking follow a guy or take life advice from a guy who literally puts out pictures of women and says they're disgusting human beings? How can you do that? I don't think you can. But he then comes back on to tweet, and it was just stunt tweeting at that point. This is the first one. My YouTube channel now has 5 million subscribers. Thank you to all the ongoing support. I am nothing but grateful for the opportunities that have opened up. I can confirm some very exciting projects, blah, blah, blah. Take care, keep striving. Striving for what, bud?
This
That's
is
the
his,
point.
This is from his staff, though. This is what he's trying to make people believe. I just said these crazy things. Now I'm gonna scale it back.
Yeah.
And tweet like a normal person would tweet. It's still him. He doesn't have a fucking staff. He's got his wife. Like, there's no staff. Like,
His
who
wife,
the fuck-
Nosferatu.
Yeah. No. Count Chocula.
Nosferatu. That's Jordan Peterson. That's Mrs. Peterson. Probably a lovely lady.
Yeah, well, I'll do right back to
that's
him
his
what he
staff.
does. What he does. And I guarantee
I thought
that's
about that
exactly
yesterday.
what
I
he
thought,
said.
should we make fun of his wife and the fact that she looks like a vampire?
No.
And I'm like,
No.
I don't think we should. I think we should
No.
leave her alone. She didn't do anything. She doesn't deserve this. She's just a female who's unfortunately married to a man who's got major emotional and mental difficulties that he does not want to treat normally. So he goes
Yeah.
to Russia, sits in a coma, and eats meat. And then he comes out with shit like this, like he can't stop. And the amazing part was, like, everything that I've read about him. So, like, this is something that he put out today. I believe that if people are stronger than their misfortunes, he says, Jordan Peterson. Really? People are stronger. So what about this lady who you said was not attractive in front of a couple million people that follow you on Twitter? What about her obstacles that you just put in her way? Think she can get over this? You telling 2.7 million people she's gross because you don't like her? Because that's your subjective opinion on this woman? Like, everything he says is fucking hypocritical. Like, everything he says stands in contrast to what he tells other people to do, because he's literally such a fucked up piece of fuck that he can't think straight. He's so mentally toxic and so fucked in the head from all the shit he shoved in his mouth and in his system and all the garbage that he's fed himself. That's why every second video of him is crying and getting mad and banging on tables. because everybody knows he's a fucking loser that doesn't fucking live and walk the walk. He doesn't talk the talk. He's just like, he's words, no works. This guy is bullshit. Everything he does is bullshit. That's how you can tell if someone's a charlatan, is they say one thing and do something completely fucking different, like talking about how to make friends and influence people. Well, do you do it with tweets like this about how this woman isn't attractive according to you and your fucked up metrics? Like, is that how you do it? And then on top of it, telling men that, like, he's literally last night watching him go off about how much he hated everybody. He basically announced he was the new king of the incels.
Pretty much.
Right?
Yeah, like the Pied Piper of fucking micro penis incels.
He was going after Trudeau. He went after fucking every single person he had an issue with. It was like the weirdest shit in the world. Like, one thing was about, you can't tell me what I think is pretty. The next thing is like, hey, fuck you, Justin. I'm going to come get some of that government subsidy money because I got 5 million subscribers on YouTube. Like, it was all about him to the point where you're like, this guy is having a legitimate manic episode right now on Twitter. And he wouldn't stop.
You know what I think? You know what I think? A big part of that direction of hate at that woman was the fact that she's centered, she's confident, she's pretty, and she's proud of it. And he can't check any of those boxes. He can't check them, and that pisses him the fuck off.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. Like, he can't put this into some sort of container, right?
Yeah.
When all you should do is just look at it from, all right, swimsuit, Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue comes out every year. It's been coming out forever. They've tried to evolve with the times, right? And they've done a decent job of that. And now they're trying to be more representative of all women.
Yep.
Right. And so they have 4 covers out, and, you know, they got Elon Musk's mom on there. Right. Like, she's 74. Good for them. Who cares? Now, you don't have to buy the magazine. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to think it's it doesn't have to appeal to you, but don't be an idiot and rally against something that, like, there's just no. I think that's why he melted down. I think you're perfect. You're bang on. You fucking nailed it. He couldn't rationalize. He couldn't create an argument around it, and it made his head explode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he couldn't find his way out of his own wet paper bag.
Yes,
That's it.
Yeah.
Just and he gets, and he's one of those manic dudes you'll ever see, and he's a tragic story. And the problem is we made him famous before the breakdown, and now we have to deal with it while it's breaking down.
Well, yeah, and he's got a huge back catalog where he actually said some things that may have made sense, right? Yeah. So the problem with him is he bridges that gap between, like, used to be kind of normal to totally fucking insane, need major help. Padded rooms.
Yeah, that's Locke's point yesterday. Yeah. I thought about that after as well.
Yeah. My point was, unfortunately, we got a man we're watching sort of the breakdown of somebody that I think may have been, if he would have been able to contain what it was that he was attempting to do at the beginning of this, which was get people to look at things from a different lens, right? And what ended up happening was, and I think unfairly at first, he might have got put into this box, and now he can't get out of it because he's wrapped himself in walls of crazy, right? And
you know
again,
who comes for him? You know who subscribes to stuff like that? Or people who were like, he wasn't talking to in the beginning. People who absolutely, and he needs the support. Like, you don't have a nervous breakdown the kind that he had, where he leaves the country in a coma, dealing with really serious. And listen, do I think the man is lost? Do I think he's fucked in the head? Do I think he's a major societal canker sore? Totally. Mm-hmm. Can I see the humanity and how fucking crazy and lost he is? Totally. The anal canker sore? Yeah, that was a good one. I leveled it. But I see that here, right? Like, there's some humanity here where you look at a guy like that and you're like, oh man, the cheese is off the cracker. That's a shame, right? Where you used to have some use and benefit. He used to have somewhat of a cogent concept of how he was supposed to be offering people information and encouraging them to read that information, encouraging them to critically think. But now everything he does is about him. And he puts himself at the center of all of it. He puts his fight against everybody at the center of it. He puts his 5 million YouTube subscribers at the center of it. He puts himself at the center of it when he tries to diagnose people like me on Twitter, where he's like, you're right clinically. Dude, you're not even a clinical doctor. You can't say clinical anything. You're a fucking moron. And now he is like last night's tweet storm from Peterson, and you should have seen it. Go look at it.
It's
Jordan
there.
B. Peterson. It is
You
like
didn't take it down?
No, it's like the ramblings of like, it's the kind of shit you would see on the wall of a prison where a crazy person has been for like years with some sidewalk chalk, right? That's what it was. It was like, oh my God, this guy can't stop. And that's where everything flipped for me. It was like last night I was reading and I was watching this guy kind of fucking snap on Twitter, knowing that we took him to task and we probably started his downward spiral this time with that comment that most of your fans have small dicks, and you probably do too. Chances are he probably has a small dick. And on top of it, the kind of drugs he was addicted to lend themselves to major, major sexual confusion, right, Linz?
Oh yeah, those benzos that he was on.
What are benzos for, Linz?
Calming you down.
Yeah, it's like a
Xanax,
almost like a
exactly.
acute
That's what Xanax is.
antipsychotic almost. Like it's like a like just to get you to chill you out, like to bring you down a bit.
I hear they're awful to get off of.
The problem is they have long-term effects in a lot of people where it causes erectile dysfunction, it causes impotence, it causes low sperm counts, it causes sex drive issues with your brain. Like it's a chemical alteration to your makeup, and every time you fuck with your chemical alteration, what happens? Your dick falls off. So here we are, and Jordan Peterson's dick's falling off in front of the entire world and all of his 5 million subscribers. And what happened yesterday, in my assumption, and again, I'm not a pro, but the way I think his social media works, I think his wife has a hand in it. He put that tweet out about that lady, and everybody went to Google, found the picture of his wife, and he came back at him. And I guarantee you, she was watching that and went, "What the fuck did you do to me?"
Yeah.
And she said, Look, 5 million tweets about how ugly I am, and you fucking started it because you couldn't close your fucking stupid mouth. So,
oh, dude, because that was the first place I went, because I've got lizard brain still. Like I got 3 parts of my brain. Most people have 2. I got 3. I think everybody here has 3. Reason, emotion, lizard, right? So my lizard brain, as soon as I start that, I'm like, let's find a picture of his wife and call her ugly for 2 days straight. Like, let's do something. Let's hit him back where he needs to be hit. And then I watched the tweet storm last night, and then I got to the realization that no. You don't want to go after Mrs. Peterson.
No.
Because Mrs. Peterson didn't do anything. And to your point, you're right. His staff that he gave the passwords to, his wife. It's like, change the password. And here's another thing.
It's a Randy Hillier on a bigger scale.
Totally. Are you going to take life/relationship/emotional advice on how to be in your life from a guy who has to ask his wife to change his password on Twitter to something he doesn't know, so he can't be tempted to tweet anymore because he can't help himself? Seriously.
That manic thing is interesting, because I've seen that present itself in a couple of situations in my life with people I've known, and you know what? Almost all of them have had a drug issue on some level, right? So, clearly and I don't think it was just benzos for him. No.
It was a bunch of stuff, and I don't want to get into it because I have my own backstory, right? I abused alcohol. I had to go to AA. I had to get my life straight. And to go after someone that also has an addictive personality or an addiction issue is bad form. So, and I know I've done it before, and I'm going to stay away from it. But I'm going to concentrate on the fact that this guy's in trouble, right? Like, he used to have something to offer. Now, not only does he not have something to offer, but he is legitimately the band leader of the incel movement, and the same group of people that think the same thing is happening to them over and over and over again, where they feel like they have to go shoot up a Tops in Buffalo, or they feel like they got to go to Ottawa and tell people like, hey, pay attention to us and what we're losing,
right?
Because that's all he talks about, right? That's all he talks about is what men and his group of people are losing, and he talks about his army of people, and we're coming for you. It's going to be, let's fight back. Let's go. and dude is like literally telling women they're ugly, gross, not attractive. He's getting angry and lashing out and fucking like literally tweeting for 2 hours straight last night, like out of context, ubiquitous, weird, obscure shit that no one cared about, and everything was different. Everything was the same at the same time. Like, that dude is fucked in the head to the point where, like, I'm aggro. I'm a game sevener when it comes to sewering bad people. If you've hurt people on purpose, I like coming for you, and it's very unhealthy for me, but I still do it because I love it. It gives me life. Yeah. But with Jordan, I'm at that point where I'm like, he might be a bad smell in the attic if we keep this up. Like, seriously, we might either like, and I would encourage like anybody that if you know Jordan Peterson or if you are his wife, Mrs. Peterson, I'm speaking to you. You need to get your husband some help. Like, now. Yeah. You need to take away his computer. You need to take away his car keys. You got to take away his phone. You need to call some friends in for an intervention. I've been part of those. They're beautiful. They're also scary and weird. But you like Jordan Peterson needs an intervention, and he needs it now. And that's for the human being that is, if it is still left in there, right? Because it's beyond the pale, and I can see it. We can all see it. Like, to a man, every single person that I talk to that knows him and knows of him is like, even his fans, like on Twitter after that whole thing happened. Did you see some of those people who are like, dude, I used to like you, but this is fucking heavy because I'm a big fan of the big girls, and my wife's a larger lady, and you just really upset her and me. And it was like a common theme all day. How like not only did it's just so fucking easy to dunk on him last night. Right? Like it was just a dunk.
He polarized himself against everybody.
And then he alienated his fucking fans. And then as a result, he wanted to celebrate his 5 million. Like that was what he got out of it. Is fuck you. I've got 5 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm never going to jail. Okay, but you're just proving everybody's point.
Why does you're only in this for you? He said that a couple of times. Why does he keep saying I'm not going to jail? Is he in trouble that we don't know of? Like,
no, in his own mind he is. He's in jail in his own head. He's already in jail. He's been in jail for fucking years in there, and he thinks that it's going to manifest
there is still this audience that he had reached, that he had sort of garnered that I think is in trouble, and I think not the Jordan Peterson trouble. Like this is a manic, this is a drug issue, this is something more than this. But there is that group out there that is seeking because they don't feel like they have a place, and it's not just the white kid that goes to church on Sundays. There's a growing number of white young kids, men that are feeling a little bit, disconnected with what's happening in the world, and I kind of thought, listen, you don't want to put anybody up on a pedestal, because especially somebody that can't handle it, and clearly Jordan Peterson can't handle it. But I kind of thought that maybe on some level he was a guy that might have some good advice for how to tackle some of the issues that we're having with young men. I mean, depression is up, suicide is up. These guys, there's a lot of people out there that just aren't connecting, and
you're right.
Again, I wonder if there is something that can be done for them outside of a book about petting a cat and making your fucking bed, right? Like, there's got to be something, right?
What it is it's they've been told that they don't fit in by somebody who's selling them a book that tells them they don't fit in.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's not that they actually don't fit in. They're excluding themselves by proxy of Jordan Peterson and enjoying it, because life is hard. It's easy to be a victim rather than it is to carry on through life. We all know this. We've all done this. We've all had struggles.
And I read this study. Right, Linz, I read this study, and it was interesting because it was talking about this evolutionary thing that we've been going through on how we're, by showing signs of weakness and stress and outwardly projecting it, we're gaining a little bit of attention, and that attention is changing our minds, right? There's a lot less of rub some fucking dirt on it, suck it up. There's less of that now, and there's more of people playing the victim. Why? Because it works. Because it gives them the attention that they're looking
And it's
for.
It's less work.
It's
less
work.
worse and easier to get through life if you keep on complaining that everything's unfair.
Yeah.
And
I didn't
finish.
finish.
It's like
We
you
got
can.
it to
You,
ourselves.
well, yeah, dude, and everybody does this victim industry, right? Like he is
Mm-hmm.
literally the victim of, and every incel, like the shootings that we've seen, have all been people parroting, repeating the same great replacement sort of fuck you bullshit that Jordan Peterson ascribes to.
100%.
So, like they're, we're gonna find out about a bunch about the Buffalo guy. We already know enough about the New Zealand guy and this guy and the Norwegian guy and all these different people that, in the name of like white supremacy, feel like they're being shuttered. They're being pushed off to the side. And their goal is to make a statement. Well, Jordan Peterson continually makes these same statements, right? And when you think about who Jordan Peterson is as an advice giver, that's how he makes his money. He wants to tell people how to live, right? This is the guy you're talking about. The guy that cries every single chance he gets. The guy who snaps every time someone says, hey, listen, I don't agree with you. Like, I've seen Jordan Peterson cry more about people not agreeing with him and about what he thinks the state of the world is biblically, by the way, what he thinks the state of the world is and how it upsets him so much. And then he gets angry and aggro, and all these guys are left hanging going, okay, we were coming to you for answers, and you can't fucking keep it together for like one symposium or one webinar. Like, you can't keep it together for one tweet for one day. Seriously, I need you to, if you're a Jordan Peterson fan, I need you to ask yourself that question. And if you know a Jordan Peterson fan, ask them this question too. Why are you taking advice from him about how to live your life when that is how he lives his? Why are you taking his advice on how to get through this beautiful existence, how to make the most of this wonderful life? Because that's what he touts himself as, someone that can help others identify and navigate this life. That guy can't even fucking navigate a webinar without crying his dick off. Or insulting a woman who's in a bikini who he doesn't think is attractive. Like, he literally cannot get through a day without forcing himself to be this egregious asshole. And you guys are taking advice from him in 12 steps at a time? Come on. Seriously, ask yourself. And listen, it's no harm, no foul. If you were a Jordan Peterson guy prior to this, totally get it. But get the net, right? Like, come around a little bit.
Yeah.
I come around to what you're dealing with here is that you cannot literally take his advice at all. At all. You can't. Because he is so fucking broken and he is so messed up that nothing he says has any merit anymore. Because he's not here, man.
I think everybody has to take a look at themselves, take a look at what they need and what they expect from other people. Right? I think you got to count on yourself. You got to give yourself a little more credit, and you got to take care of your own shit a little bit more than relying on somebody, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And if you rely on somebody too much, somebody can change. Somebody can change.
Yeah,
get fucking crazy. Anyway, don't fucking follow Jordan Peterson. That's why. Here, Dean, he's got 12 rules. I got the one. Are you ready for this? Don't listen to a fucking word Jordan Peterson says. You'll be great. If you're a man, if you're a man, the only way out is to do the work. That's it. It's not to listen to some guy. It's to do the work yourself. And he could be part of, and you might be able to parse some of the things he has said in the past. And you go, hey, he was kind of on something there, but he's gone, man. That guy is dead. That guy is toast. The lecturer that took pride in teaching people how to think critically, that's not critical thinking. That's him trying to get everybody to see everything from his side. And listen, the second you tell everybody they're wrong and you're right, you're done. And that's exactly what he's doing. Exactly what he's doing.
Can I put an amendment to your rule?
Yeah.
Your one rule there?
Yeah.
Put a second rule in there, and that is if you are looking for a guru and you're looking for somebody to guide you into the don't pigeonhole yourself into following men. Find a woman too. Put two side by side comparisons to life views and
fucking
hear it
trust
from
yourself. Make decisions for yourself.
Well, that too, but like you said, some people are always looking, right? Some people need that. They need.
We have a lot of
constant
searchers.
validation and constant fucking reassurance that they're doing the right thing. Don't just listen to the same person that looks like you. Find a black dude. Find a brown woman. Find somebody else to mix into that and open your fucking eyes a bit and realize that it's not all about you. And once you learn it's not about you in this world and it's about us, you're fucking so much happier, and you're so much, because then all of a sudden it all comes together and everybody comes together at the same time. You're not isolating yourself and you're not pigeonholing yourself into that fucking category.
Great point.
It's
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just want to counter one thing that Dean said about doing the work. I'm also against that, and spending that time hiding in a basement drinking alcohol.
That's
is
fine
something
too.
that has worked for me. And I mean, listen, if you want to read a bunch of fucking books about shitting in a glass and all that, I mean, that's fine. Go ahead, but you're wasting valuable drinking time.
You're wasting
Listen to
my time.
audiobooks while you're drinking. You can fucking multitask, Locker.
Valuable drinking time.
It's a lot of work changing your belief system and your belief structure, but that guy is fucked. You know what? To the point where I don't know if we should keep beating the guy up. Like that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Like,
we could take. You know what? We should take a break from Jordan Peterson for the rest of the week.
Okay.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
because for
we've
his
gone pretty
mental
hard
health,
on old-
because we did this to him. Like I have it on good authority that I say we because I need friends whenever we fuck someone over to the point where they lose them. So,
Thanks.
And
Yeah,
by
it
the way,
was you, but I'll jump into
Yeah.
the we category. Like,
well,
it's-
and by the way,
Less
should we
work.
maybe be doing like a rock tour shirt of people whose lives we've ruined on purpose?
no, I agree with Lynn's on that.
Chris Sky,
I don't know if that's good karma.
Not even karma. I
Randy
just
Hillier,
think
Chelsea Hillier, the
we
Hillier
just
family.
become them. We just become them doing that. We write about it. You can read about how we destroy these fucking idiots every day on
Putting it on a
DeanBlundell.com.
shirt.
We don't need a shirt.
Taking out Jordan Peterson is a fucking feather in your cap, though. Like that is one of
kinda
those
is.
things where, and it was funny because when we got into it and he lost immediately before he started, I'm like, this is going to end his night. And it not only ended his night, it forced him to quit Twitter today.
I guarantee
hey-
if he happens to be watching the show, he's yelling at his wife, "Give me the password right now, right now!"
He's so weak, and
Vince.
that's the thing. I was talking to Amber Mack about this the other day. These guys are so fucking weak. They're the softest people in the world. This guy yells at everybody that has a different opinion of him because he can't handle it. And then he cries all the time because he can't handle it. And then he tells people he's leaving and taking his ball and going home because he can't handle it. Like, this is the softest group of people. You watch what happened in Buffalo. Soft. Watch what happens around the world when these guys act out. They've always got guns, they got knives, or they got vans, and they're driving them up and down Yonge Street because they're the softest pussies on the planet. We have an incel problem, and dude is a major fucking factor in the incel issue that we have in North America.
He's one of the Pied Pipers. Him,
Absolutely.
The Joe Rogans, the fucking
So
all of them.
I've decided that I'm not taking it easy on him, and I'm not taking a break. I'm going to keep it up until he really cracks.
Just
I'm
don't
glad
put
you
it out
came
on
around.
a t-shirt. Hey,
glad
on the topic of t-shirts, Lynn's.
Yeah.
Oh,
Show
mine.
yours. Show
Yeah.
yours.
Oh, yeah, the merch store's open. You got the Sheeple Shepherd stuff. The merch is landed. That's really nice. Yeah, that looks like a nice
Ashley's
shirt.
got a hoodie. She got it on earlier.
This
right.
is also available on the Locker Room
Merch store.
merch page.
Yeah.
Is that for
Glory Hole.
Edmonton
I got it.
and Tabor Glory Holes?
Yes, we got two. I got two web pages I'm paying for. Hey, I actually have a quick story that you guys will appreciate. You especially, Dean. So it was announced that the Pope was coming to town. So I asked the boss the other day if we could do Glory Hole Pope merch, which I would have videotaped. This
I love that. I love that.
The Pope hole.
Yeah. The papal Pope hole.
So
The papal
sacrilegious.
Pope hole.
Yeah. You know, wasn't it 2 weeks ago? You're like, guys, I don't think we should be doing stuff against religion.
No, I
Unless
didn't
it's my
say
idea.
that. You guys
Guys.
always no. I said
always get uncomfortable when you make
I'm surprised based on my understanding
dicks
of the broadcast world and religion and how you guys,
Hey guys,
handle
we should
it.
do a T-shirt about the Pope sucking cock through a bathroom stall hole. This is a
But
week
make
after
fun
you're
of
like,
religion.
guys,
Listen,
guys,
not
too
the
much.
Pope himself.
Too much. You got the Pope on the other side of glory hole in this podcast. 5 podcasts ago, you're like, too much. It's the Pope.
You don't know if it's the Pope. It's the Pope hole. It could be just a guy wearing a Pope hat.
It's the papal Pope hole.
That's the surprise about
here
the
to
glory
get-
hole. You never
All
know
right.
what.
Take the
what's
body
on
of
the
Christ
other
in your
end.
mouth.
Yes.
The Pope
That's
hole.
like permanent communion, by the way.
You only have
It's
to
like-
take it
yeah,
once.
It's the tattooed eyebrows of communion. You never have to go back if you go to the Pope hole.
That's right. See?
See,
You guys should do
no
one for
bad
the royal.
ideas when you're brainstorming.
You're right. Sorry, I feel bad now. Thank you so much for being an absolutely unprincipled individual in this podcast. I really appreciate it. It's
We
the best.
also have the royal family coming to visit Lochlin if you'd like another idea.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
there
right.
you go.
Yeah.
If we can't do a royal hole, I don't know why we.
The royal hole. Before we go, shit we didn't get to that I really wanted to get to. Where were you in the States last week, Locke? Because this came up. Fired Arby's manager
This was
admitted to
not
urinating
me.
at least twice in his milkshake.
This
mix,
is not
what he
me.
said.
I nothing to do with this.
Are you sure?
That's bullshit.
Listen. A little bit of urine never killed anybody. Does not taint my view of Arby's. I actually
said
had Arby's
taint.
today,
Yeah.
and I
I
did it
bet.
because I knew you were going to be talking about this.
So I read the story, and here's the funny part: is the manager. They're like, "Did you piss in the milkshake?" He's like, "A couple times." And he's like, "You did it more than once?" He goes, "I've been doing it for months." So if the
Just
manager
can't-
is pissing in the ice
just
cream,
can't trust
in the
managers.
milkshake,
That's
if
the
the
rule.
manager's pissing in there, what the fuck were the employees doing?
Well, they're
Manager's
looking. They're looking past the employees that are taking dumps, calling it a beef and cheddar on a bun. Oh, he's peeing in that
Honestly,
machine.
you would have to be Arby's too, you dicks.
Sorry,
It's always Arby's.
I'm just
Why
asking.
the-
I've never had Arby's, and I don't
Why
know
couldn't
if
it
I
have been
will.
A&W? No, it had to be Arby's.
Right?
Assholes.
Ed manager admits to urinating, quote, at least twice in the milkshake mix.
At least.
Can you imagine being a customer right now? Like, what's going through your fucking mind?
Nothing. Because I'm able to block it out.
How many
Because of
fucking
the work
milkshakes?
that I've done in
so
my
are you gonna
basement with
are you gonna
alcohol.
have a milkshake?
This
When
is
you go
why I
there?
drink in the basement.
Yeah. Are you gonna have a milkshake when you go there? No? Yes?
You know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go have a
All right.
milkshake now. I'm
All
going
right.
back to Arby's. But
Oh.
I'm doubling up my trips.
All
today.
right, good. And I want to end with another thing we didn't get to. We were supposed to get to it yesterday, and we didn't get a chance to.
Speaking of drive,
Speaking of drive-thrus, yes. Quick pro tip before we play this video. If you're gonna
Can you
complain-
guys tell me why she was mad? Like, what
Nope.
was the reason why?
don't know the
No
backstory.
one knows? Okay.
We've checked.
You know what? Someone
I
who
couldn't
commits
find it
to
either.
doing what we're about to watch doesn't need a reason to be this person. They are just this person, right?
It would be funny to find out if she was upset about the manager peeing in her
That
milkshake,
would've-
though.
That would have been good.
Where's the manager? This milkshake tastes like piss.
It smells
So
tremendous.
she smelled fucking terrible, and she's all pissed because she's mad about some of the drive-through, and she decides to get out. If you're gonna do this, Karens, make sure you fucking put it in park first.
This is
Get your car. You understand? This is why we're concerned, ma'am. Wow. I think we need to call the police. JMD. Oh, God. Please tell her to stop. Oh, my God. Tell her to get away from the car. Hey, y'all come back. She's called somebody.
you. Did she?
This
get
is
run
why we're
over?
concerned, ma'am. This is why we're concerned.
So I looked it up. She indeed she ran herself over with her own car after it took off down the drive-through. It was her back right leg. She tried to get
looked like
in.
she
The
got-
car went over the curb, down into the ditch, ran over her right leg, broke it in a couple of spots, and she was laying in the ditch as her car door was open. And she apparently, the Arby's manager that ran out to see if she was okay,
Wasn't an
she was-
Arby's.
she was still screaming at him. That tasted like piss.
I didn't get enough horsey sauce.
You
forgot
a fucking straw.
This is the last
Guys are
time I
so
get a
awful.
half order of fries at this drive-through.
toy? Where's the toy?
You know what?
Some people are the
You guys
best.
are not going to ruin Arby's for me. I don't care how many videos you play.
I don't think that's the intent. I think we want
No.
you to keep going back.
Yeah, I want you to get Juventus or whatever the fuck it is.
Juventus.
Sure.
All the horsey
Yeah.
sauce you can take.
Yeah.
That is my favorite video of the week, just so you know.
Yeah. Dude. One
It
more
was
time.
amazing.
Get your car. You understand? This is why we're concerned, ma'am. Wow. I think we need to call the police. JMD. Call the police. Oh, God. Please tell her to stop. Oh, my God. Tell her to get away from the car. Hey, y'all come back. She's called somebody.
I said
Y'all
no
come-
fucking pickles. This is the last.
People are so dumb. It's the best. I can't get enough.
She's I want to know what she was upset about. I don't know why, but I need to know why she was getting out of her car to fight with the people inside the restaurant.
Because of the voices in her head, dude. It's the same with everybody. It's the same thing. It's like
Jordan
voice in your head's
Peterson
like,
told her
clearly
she's a
listen,
victim.
you're our
too. She's
be crazy as fuck. Just go fight that
like-
guy. I mean,
she's
she's
got-
like normal person will go, I won't. But she's like, all right, I'll get out of my moving car. Why not? Voice in my head just told me to get out of the car and ask for more ketchup packs.
she's 6 deep.
I don't have time to put it in park. This is on
too
like
mad.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, just get out of the car right now. But it's not in park. Just do it. All right, I'll do it. That was the argument in the car. With
I
herself.
love she's trying to hold the car back.
That's my favorite. When the car moves, and she's like, maybe I could just pull this bad boy back. This 12,000-pound killing
Got the
machine.
door-
Maybe I could just. Yeah,
got the
she's like
door.
120 pounds soaking wet too. The best.
Yeah.
don't
I
think-
knew as soon as that guy stepped in front of her, I'm like, oh, we missed the part where the car rolled over her.
I don't think she makes a lot of good choices in life.
No.
No,
Including
this
where
is
she
not
was-
a new situation for her.
No.
No.
Probably not even for that day.
She's run over herself many times before.
Well,
And backed up over herself probably a couple of times. Like she's probably got it going there and going. Anyway, that's just folks, be happy you're not her. And have a great day today. That is Lochlin Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton is where you can find him. Follow him and make sure you go and visit our merch store, which he is the boss of. He's the merch store boss.
Tyrant.
Where we've got our new Fuck Pootler line up there. We've got the Sheeple Shepherd line up there. The Locker Room merch store is on fire. The Support Local Glory
decades
Hole
of
shirt.
disappointment leaf shirt is selling
It's my
like
favorite.
crazy.
Wildly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's doing very well.
Yeah, very excited. And so go to the merch store and shop if you can. Make sure you support Alex. There's a little donation tab there. Anything where you buy it says "Fuck Pootler," the shirt, the stickers, whatever, the flag.
Our merch,
because
too.
apparently, your merch,
Our
Sheeple
merch is
Shepherd
all 100% proceeds go to Alex. We don't make anything off of it.
Same with James. Same with everybody. If you order something, we're going to send the money to Alex. And as you heard him on the show today, he's super thankful. We sent him a few $1,000s. We can do the same thing. And if you can donate and you can help as they kind of try to bring their people through this, we would greatly appreciate it. Just go to the shop, merch shop, which is deanblundell.com. Click on the link in the drop-down menu. and
Nice
you're
to
good
send
go.
him another good chunk of change too.
For sure.
Yes, it is, isn't it? He
All
was
right,
really
boys.
happy about that. Thanks, guys.
Have a good
Appreciate
day.
it. It's Lochlin
Good to
Cross
see you, man.
at 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton. Follow him on Lochlin Cross, at Lochlin Cross on Twitter. And, of course, Ryan Lindley. We'll talk to you soon. Sheeple
Love you,
Shepherd going. We'll talk to you soon. Go and subscribe to the Sheeple Shepherd podcast, wherever you get your podcast. And follow him on Twitter. He's a great follow. Maybe one of my favorite Twitter follows. Thankfully, I work with him, and he checks my tweets, too, sometimes, where I'm like, hey, dude, check this for me. He's like, all right, dummy. I'll do it. Linz is the resident smart guy. That's why I love him. And among other things, he's just a good human being. Everybody is. Jordan Peterson isn't. Pray for his soul. He's probably going to go to hell. And he's probably going to die soon. We'll see how he doesn't. That guy looks like shit. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. I hope he doesn't. I do. I hope he gets better and fucking he needs literal hospitalization at this point. That's what I think. Not accurate, but he does. Have a great day. Thanks so much for being part of the show. We really appreciate it. Please enjoy everything you do today responsibly. And do me a favor, if you can, take some time And head on over to deanblundell.com to check out a list of our sponsors, including our friends at Easy Auto Financial, making it easy for you to get in a car. They get you your financing for the vehicle that you want. It's all turnkey. You don't need to do anything, and they don't charge you for the financing. Everybody does. They don't. They're unique that way. They like people. They work with you with where you are and your credit rating. It's awesome. You'll love these guys. I trust them. You can trust them too. EasyAutoFinancial.ca. Check them out today. No obligation at all. Sign up and they'll help you out. Buy a car. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. They don't care. They just get the job done and get you the car that you want at the price you want to pay. That's what they do. Also, thanks to our friends at Domination. Dominate with your content by using domination.com. Try them for free today. And you can use content, put it into a file. Gives you like 72 promos, pieces of content you can spread across all different platforms. Makes it easy, time-consuming. No. It's like 72 pieces in 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. And it does everything. It's all self-contained. If you're a gamer, streamer, podcaster, and you do content like legacy content, promos, etc., go to dmntn.com and try them for free today. And, of course, Ed's Fine Imports and his Gitch, huge deal right now on store-wide, like massive store-wide deals because he's switching over stuff. But go and get the Gitch. Luxury branded underwear, boxer briefs, pouch in the front. Trust me, you'll fucking love his underwear. edsfineimports.com. Gitch3 is your promo code. Order 3. He'll send you the 4th for free. Huge savings. That's the promo code. Gitch3. That's your promo code. Try them for free today. Gitch and the number 3. edsfineimports.com. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow on this very program. Bye.
This is the price for freedom. We don't have fuel in Ukraine. The Russians bombed the largest oil refinery and we completely lack fuel. So this is the line that starts from there, goes all the way here and turns around there and goes all the way up to that gas station. I don't know how many kilometers it is, but people wait for hours.